Turn that damn juice on!
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon as we are live, boys, for Cinco de Mayo here at MEZCAL in Fayetteville off the Fayetteville Square at 25 East Center Street, where all day long they're going to be celebrating Cinco de Mayo with music, street tacos, margaritas, as you see Andrew and Curtis having right now. I mean, fellas, it's always good to be out, but on a beautiful day like this, the weather's perfect. You're here celebrating Cinco de Mayo at MEZCAL. This is the way it needs to be, especially coming off a great Razorback weekend.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've had a lot of live shows since we started doing this in a bunch of different places, really cool places. But today, the vibes, the weather, the open air, this one I feel like is going to be tough to beat, man. And this is one of my favorite holidays that I probably have no business celebrating, but I do anyway. You know what I mean? It's just it's a good day, man, coming off of a great weekend. So the vibes here are electric. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm glad you mentioned the comparison to some of our other live shows, because I was kind of thinking it. I didn't want to be dramatic, but I was like, this one also snuck up on me because it's a Monday, and I was looking forward to Texas. I was locked in on beating Texas several months ago, and so I couldn't really look past that date. But so this one kind of snuck up on me. But like now that we're here, I'm like, this is
nice.
This is perfect. And folks, again, we're gonna be out here till earlier. The show ends around 2, maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock. We don't put a time on it. We just have fun. And then the rest of the day, though, you can come out here for lunchtime. Obviously, for dinner time, they're gonna be open late tonight too. And a lot of you who love to celebrate Cinco de Mayo or Cinco de Drinko, depending on how you celebrate it itself, this is the place to be. So right here, it's the newest Mexican restaurant here in Fayetteville. If you're from Little Rock, or you at least live in Little Rock, you're like, hey, that place sounds familiar. It's MEZCAL. They have a location there in Hillcrest on Kavanaugh. I used to go to quite often when I lived down there. So same setup, but it's good to have a Mexican restaurant right here, too, in the downtown area that you can go and hang out. And they have even a patio, because that's things people think, oh, it's on the square. Is it tight? There's not all a room. Like, they have a patio and a deck right here out on the street that if you want to eat outside and have the sun on you a little bit, they have that for you, too. So they got it all. I
mean, we've got eyes on us as people walk by, but we're also in prime people watching position.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's folks out here having lunch on the little patio deck area right now, probably wondering, why are these three guys headsets on staring at us? It's just where our eyes are. I don't know what to tell you. But no, this is cool, man. One of the coolest places of downtown. Everybody always thinks about Dixon Street, and of course, but right down here on Center and around the square and everything, it's awesome. So it's good to be out here.
It's cool because I think us being olds, you guys are really, really old.
Extremely.
I'm just like a little
Tell
bit
me
like
about it.
older than college age is what I mean. But I think there's people that live in the area that are not in college probably get a little, time where they're like, all right, do I really want to go downtown? Do I really want to go to the square? Like, is that where I want to spend my night? But it's always cool when there's like a place like this that pops up, because it kind of gives you a reason where you're like, you know what? I could go down. I could go down Center Street a little bit, just hang out in that area. And when the weather's good, and you got the garage open like this, like this is a really nice addition. Yeah. And I feel like this area kind of needed it a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we're going to tell you more about all the great stuff they have here at MEZCAL. So come on out and see us here for lunchtime right here off the square. But of course, we're going to have everything to recap over the weekend. We're going to get to, of course, vibe check of the chats presented by our friends at Basis Health. We'll have a little best and worst of the weekend presented by our friends at Looper Auction and Realty. Also get into our Alumni Hall question of the day, a little weekend recap as well with BetSaracen, looking at that. And we're going to talk about everything going on in the sports world. But, of course, the big thing I know is on a lot of people's minds and everyone's excited about is the sweep of Texas. I mean, we went into this. We talked about it last week. Arkansas lost 3 straight series, and they won 3 straight games against Texas, and very convincingly. I know the last game was a good game for Arkansas to finally get that capper on the sweep, but it just, the weather was fine. Friday was a little but weather was great. The atmosphere was electric. The team played great. Like, that was just what the doctor ordered if you're a Razorback fan, of just having a weekend where it all went well. It was Texas. It was great. The weather was great. Now you feel like you're back on track and you're back in the mix, and you're right where you need to be to move forward here this baseball season.
100%, man. I know Andrew, he'll be able to go real inside baseball on us with everything that went down there, but for me, like, the surface level view, they kicked their ass, man.
Yes, they did.
I mean, that was just a dominant, emphatic sweep. You're right. It's exactly what they needed. They were fine. This was never a situation, if you really just look at the full body of work, where you're like, oh, man, oh, this team sucks. It's not going to work out. They just need to get momentum back on their side, and I think they did that in a pretty dramatic fashion, and it was really impressive to see. And just everything that went into that was just awesome. The stage was set for it, but it's the number one team coming into your place. It's Texas, who everybody hates, and just to beat up on them the way they did, that was sweet, man. Like sometimes you have really good weekends at the ballpark where you've got just 3 back and forth games, and it's just a battle, but a clash of titans or whatever. No, it was just Arkansas beating the crap out of Texas. 3 straight games. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it just made too much sense, And what's weird about it is Arkansas's coming off 3 series losses, so it was an interesting vibe with the fan base. But I didn't see a ton of people super concerned about the series. Like, Arkansas fans were weirdly very confident. And when we were, sitting next to you, Curtis, at the game, I guess that would have been Thursday night. And I was like, it is kind of weird that we all kind of knew this was going to happen. And that was during game 1 of what ended up being 3 definitive wins. I mean, Saturday was competitive, but it was so definitive. And I think we all just kind of knew, all right, Texas was 19-2, they're due for a bad weekend. Arkansas is 14-7, probably due for a good weekend. And baseball season is such a grind. It's 65 games, it's a lot of weekends, and when you start adding in the travel, you throw in the midweek games, you're throwing the finals, you're throwing all these things together. It's really hard. I mean, I'm not trying to be dramatic here. It's really hard to just play good for 15 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're never as good as you will look on your best day. You're never as bad as you look on your worst day. And I wouldn't even say this was necessarily Arkansas's best day. I think Dave even said to the team, this is not the best thing we're going to do this year, which I freaking loved.
Yeah.
But you saw Texas, who had been playing a lot of their best baseball, they really kind of stunk it up here. And that's what happened, and Arkansas was there, and Arkansas did what they were supposed to do, took care of business, and took it to them. I think that we all needed to kind of see this because we always say when we're talking about this pitching staff or this lineup or whatever, when certain things don't go right, it's really hard to make that argument. I compared it to the basketball team with Nelly Davis and Jonas Adu. Yeah, when Nelly Davis isn't good, it's really hard to sell yourself on that Razorback basketball team being good. When Jonas Adu, who is a big part of the plans, isn't good, it's really hard to see that. But all it takes is seeing those guys have the 14, 12, and 8 game or whatever that Jonas Adu would have, and see Nelly Davis knock down 5 or 6 threes, and you're like, all right, these guys have it. Zach Root, same kind of thing where, when he doesn't pitch well, it's really hard to sell yourself on this Razorback team because he was the guy brought in to be the number one guy, to be the number one pitcher in the class. And even Landon Beidelshees, you can make that argument about, even though he wasn't that great. But it's same for Gabe Gackle, same for a lot of these hitters. Yeah, when your best players don't show up, I could see how you'd look at that and you'd be concerned. But just like it is with any baseball team, if your best players stink in the postseason, that's when your season's going to end. And so it's good to see these guys all kind of rise to the occasion in their own way, specifically the pitching staff, because there's been so many questions about starting pitching, what the rotation should be. Is this guy in the wrong role? Is this guy in the right role? To see everyone kind of go out there and do their job, I thought was really important, all the way up until Christian Fauch, who didn't have the best outing of all time, but just battled through it, finished a game for Arkansas. He's going to have to get used to doing stuff like that. And I think all these Razorback players need to get used to doing what they did against Texas.
Yeah.
That's what's needed, and I think this team needed to see themselves do that in that kind of moment. That type of weekend prepares you for the postseason.
Well, and I think, by the way, we got to address him as the SEC Pitcher of the Week. Zach Root just came out as soon as we started here. No, well, I guess I got to double check. Because,
Arkansas, the release pulled up,
Let's say when Arkansas puts out if Arkansas puts it out, they never put Co. They just say, Pitcher of the Week, but then in the release it says Co. But then we have to wait for the SEC. But either way, there shouldn't be a Co. I mean, that was an incredible performance, and him getting fired up and the electricity going on with that. And, of course, I think we talked about it a little bit on Friday, but just the talk of, I didn't – Coach Hobbs said, people paid all this money to come and see me watch 4 innings. You got double that, and you were impressive. So it was just, nice to do that. I'll say this, guys, because I tweeted about it too. Another thing that added to the energy there, I don't think I've ever seen a baseball team from the opposing side interact with fans as much as those Texas players did. It was insane how much that they were. Look, listen, you're going to get some jostling back and forth and all of that, but it was insane, in the dugout. Yeah. The players were looking back and saying stuff. Apparently, they're one of their hitters that I guess is going to be one of the starting safeties or the starting safety for Texas.
He's like one of the best players in the country.
Yeah. He's starting safety for Texas football. He was yelling at the Hog fans, I get more NIL than you guys making, and just what in the world?
He was telling people to meet him in the parking lot too. He's like, let's see him in the parking lot. I'm like, what? You're gonna fight these dudes at Baum?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can all agree that like Texas had a serious case of lemon booty going on out there.
Man.
Especially that second game where Schloss freaked out and wound up benching 2 of the guys after that base running gaff out there. And it's John, I don't know how much you do this, but I know Andrew does, and I do a lot. We play the 2 things can be true at once game.
Oh, all the time.
I absolutely love playing that game. But I sometimes I hesitate. Like I get irritated when people do the overrated chant.
Oh, that's stupid.
And so I've been hesitant to do the, man, Texas got fraud check, because I don't want to take away anything from what Arkansas did, because they played awesome. They were dominant. But can those 2 things be true at once? Like Arkansas looked the part, showed what they're capable of, but Texas, the book might be out on them a little bit. I'm not saying they're not a good baseball program, but that was probably a pretty humbling weekend for them, I think it's safe to say.
I mean, what was so impressive about it for me from the Arkansas side of it is how prepared Arkansas was for all of Texas's top arms. Because like we say with Arkansas, you go into any weekend, you kind of need these things to go right. You need Zach Rote to give you 5 or 6 innings. You need Gage Wood to pitch well. You need a collection of things to happen. Texas doesn't have this super deep staff that's got 12 arms. Honestly, Arkansas has more pitching depth than Texas, and the numbers really reflect that. Texas has about 6-7 guys that accumulate for 90% of their innings, one of which is now out for the year. And the other guys, that starter Roy Haas on Friday night, what Arkansas put up 9 runs on that one starter.
Teed off.
And so when you have a rotation that's heavily dependent on 6 guys, and you have all 3 of your starters give up at least 4 runs, I think it was 9, 7, and 4, something like that. Like that really sets the tone for the weekend. And for a team like Texas that has been so dependent on those guys all year long, it's just been, we roll it out. This guy gives us 6 innings. He's really good. This guy gives us 5. For them to just every single game start off with seeing their starter get rocked, it sets such a tone. And that's why amid all the times when Arkansas would be worried about their starting pitching, and fans had all the reason in the world to be concerned about Arkansas starting pitching, I would always say, look around the SEC and tell me what team you really believe definitively has a better starting pitching situation than Arkansas. Arkansas is going to face one of those in LSU. They might be the team that you can really point to. And so we'll see how that plays out. But Texas would have been one of those teams you would have pointed to. You saw how that played out. Florida would have maybe been one of the teams you would point to in that situation. Like Tennessee, some of these situations, Tennessee, who's lost like 4 out of their last 5 series, a lot of those teams that have those high-level arms are not getting the consistent innings they need from those guys either. And so I felt like Arkansas was kind of in that same boat. But I was much more confident in the idea that Gage Wood could come back and give Arkansas some good innings. Gabe Gackle could get it going. Aiden Jimenez would be there. Zach Root, all these guys. And so I just look around at, I think this weekend we needed to see it just to reafirm those things. Because we all kind of knew that to be true. But again, it's hard to make that argument whenever Zach Root's giving up 6 runs or whatever. And so it kind of just reaffirmed what we all think. And by the way, Texas did not budge in the D1 Baseball Top 25. Still the number 1 team in the land, which surprised me a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Can I ask you this? Because I remember this conversation during college basketball season when Auburn was on that run that they were on. And they'd won so many games in a row, and they had like 7 more quad 1 wins than anybody else. And a lot of the shows I listen, like Gary Parrish, he does the top 25 rankings every single day. And it felt like it was a recurring thing for him, where he was like, listen, like I know Duke is playing well. I know Houston's good and everything, but like Auburn, they could probably lose their midweek Wednesday and lose Saturday, and I might still have them at number 1 because they built up such a cushion. Do you think that's some of it with Texas? Because, I mean, hell, they were 19-2 coming into this thing. Humbling, and so now it's like raising a brow to them, but maybe they just had such a like a wide margin because of the goodwill that they had built there. That's why they're still there. But I'd have a hard time after getting not only swept, but getting kind of punked out there to keep them at number 1, but I don't know who the hell you put there.
Yeah, no, that's 100% part of the equation. I mean, if you look at the SEC standings, Texas still has a 2-game lead going into the final 6 weeks. It's like still very well could win the SEC regular season title and probably is favored to do it. There's certainly a part of that. And D1 Baseball, who, by the way, may or may not be talking to Kendall Rogers soon. That's not important. That's not what I'm here to talk about. But they are, I really do feel like, the cream of the crop when it comes to, like, covering college baseball. I always cite their polls when I'm citing anything. Like Arkansas is number 7 in their poll this week. I'm going to list Arkansas as number 7 if I write it out anywhere. Like that's just kind of, I go by them. They pride themselves on not being super reactionary, particularly when a team like Texas has built up so much. And we saw that a little bit. We've seen that with Arkansas in past years. They give a lot of benefit of the doubt to these teams. I mean, hell, and I will say this to fans also, don't worry about the rankings because those are kind of just what you have to do. D1 Baseball, I believe it's Tuesday or Wednesday, they put out their projected field of 64, similar to the bracketology that we see of Lenardi and all these guys, that's when D1 baseball will tell you what they think.
Yeah.
That's when they're really ranking resumes. The top 25, I know it's like, I really know, listen, people like us will always reference it because we need to. And, it makes sense. It's how we talk about these teams. But that is not the end-all, be-all. Similar to how the AP top 25 doesn't mean anything in basketball.
Yep.
It's all about how you're projected for the NCAA tournament. And D1 baseball going into the weekend had Arkansas at number 4 in the overall seed rankings. They had Texas number 1. Mm-hmm. I wonder if Arkansas and Texas are going to be closer. Maybe Arkansas's 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Whereas in the polls, Texas has 1, Arkansas 7. I don't think Texas has as much built up in the resume department, but in terms of the top 25 power ranking, sure. They can have that number 1 spot, and I think all of Hog fans agree. They're not too worried about if Arkansas is number 1 or not. I just was a little surprised to see it.
Well, and also, I know we'll get to the chat here in a second, folks, as we're live from MEZCAL here in Fayetteville off the Fayetteville Square. They have 6 games left. There's no more midweeks. They have 6 games left of the regular season, a series on the road against LSU and Baton Rouge this weekend, and then Tennessee at home. Are they a national seed no matter what? I mean, because to me, I feel like you can't go 0-6 and still be a national seed. Like, that just doesn't happen. But even if you go 2-4, which you don't want to do, but if you go 2-4 and lose both series at the end of the season, I still feel like you're a national seed, or at least at the very worst, like a 9 or 10 seed.
Yeah, I think barring multiple sweeps, barring back-to-back sweeps, I think maybe even one win might do it. I mean, I know we saw them go 18-12 in 2022, where they lost their last 2 series. Yep. They didn't get the national seed, didn't get anything. This is a little bit different. Arkansas's resume is in a much better spot. That team in 2022 that wound up not hosting anything, their RPI was in like the mid-30s late in the year. Like, they were already, even when they were number 1 in the standings, were kind of on thin ice because their non-conference schedule really didn't help them. This Arkansas team's not in that situation. A lot of that weekend they played in Arlington has aged very well. Some of their other wins, like Charlotte's doing pretty well. Like, they don't have any real bad weak spots on the weekends. And also Arkansas's played nothing but elite competition, and they're going to play elite competition. Like, if you go down and lose 2 out of 3 against LSU, Arkansas is going to go from like number 3 in RPI to number 4 in RPI. Mm-hmm. You lose 2 out of 3 to Tennessee, maybe at home that hurts you a little bit more, especially because Tennessee's fallen off. You're not going to fall out of the top 10 in RPI. It's like you're still going to be in that range there. You'll have enough SEC wins. All these other teams that are in that mix, like Georgia, they have 15 SEC wins. LSU, they have 15 SEC wins. And so it's like Tennessee, I think they have 13 or 14. It's like it's a lot of those teams that Arkansas's in comparison with, they stack up pretty well with when you really look at the resumes. The ACC also only has like 2 teams in the top 50. There's only like 1 West Coast team. The SEC, like every other sport, is going to get a lot of benefit of the doubt on Selection Sunday.
Yeah.
And Arkansas having the venue they have also helps a lot.
Yeah, Baum Walker is always a help, too. So let's go ahead and check out the chat and get the vibes in there, presented by our friends over at Basis Health, where they're changing the way that healthcare is delivered by providing those mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home, where a doctor will come to your home, to your actual residence, for all your urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org. Appreciate our guy, Dre, for making it all possible and being a partner here with us at Inside Arkansas. So a few chats that we'll get into as we're live from MEZCAL here in Fayetteville. Shout out to our guy Quinn for the super chat. Appreciate it. Said, congrats to y'all. And we got 2 out of 3 against Tennessee. At Tennessee, we whipped them. WDE, for those you don't know, he's an Auburn fan, and we're damn Eagles. So that's what he was saying. So either way, Quinn talking big with Auburn, and hey, they're looking pretty good right now.
You want to talk about national seeds? Auburn, who gets to play South Carolina next week, by the way. So if Auburn wins all 3 of those, I believe that would bring them to 15 or 16 SEC wins. Auburn's right there in that mix. They've racked up some really important series wins here. They really don't have a ton of bad losses either. Auburn is interesting. I'm glad Arkansas doesn't play them. So me and Quinn can be allies all baseball season.
Dude, Quinn, I just got to let you know, man, and we haven't exchanged messages in a couple weeks, but that doesn't mean I'm not following what you got going on. I send to our Inside Arkansas group chat, if not daily, every other day, one of your tweets where you're teeing off on somebody else, like Tennessee fans over the weekend. You're a great follow, man. It's absolutely hilarious. I love it, and good for you guys. Good for you.
Yeah.
By the way, Auburn, number 4 in RPI with a number 2 strength of schedule in the country.
Good, man.
Auburn is in serious danger of hosting a national seed.
Man, who would have guessed that? Let's see a few other chats here too, talking about baseball. I know we talked about Texas still ranked number 1 after we punked them. This poll is a joke. So people are pretty upset by that, which we kind of felt like they would be, because that's how Razorback fans are. But here's the deal: is like I get it. The only reason why I actually if they drop to number 2, would that make you be like, oh, that's right, you're only number 2?
Sure.
Is there a difference? But at the same time, too, I'm like, man, getting swept, and then and getting worked.
Definitive. Like we all didn't think that was a fluke.
Right.
Nobody thought that was a fluke. Like and that's why I thought Arkansas would end up jumping high in the polls because of Texas falling, and you can never have like if Arkansas and Texas were in the spots next to each other, you just simply couldn't have Texas above them. So I felt like if Texas was going to drop to 3, they might drop to 4. Like I thought it'd be that. They wound up keeping Arkansas a little bit further down there, but again, a lot of those teams that Arkansas like Georgia is number. I think they're 2 or 3 in the poll now or whatever. Like they've just kind of hung around there, and Georgia hasn't done anything. They've just been playing bad teams, or they just haven't been losing series.
Well, wasn't there one poll that had them at number 1?
One poll.
Yeah,
Georgia
Baseball
had
America.
one.
Baseball America. And did they have Arkansas at 2? Or was there? Arkansas either 2 or 3 for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this, Andrew, because me and John were talking about it right before you walked in earlier, and it's like if you just separate yourself from it and you take the 40,000-foot view of college baseball right now. So forget that Arkansas is coming off of 3 straight series losses or whatever. But if you just look at their resume comparatively speaking to everybody else, 40 wins, the RPI, 17-7 in the SEC, like. It's crazy that this time a week ago, people were kind of like, damn, are they even going to host a regional?
Yeah.
You could actually make a pretty solid argument to put Arkansas at number 1 in the poll. I don't think you get all the way there, but you could make that argument if you really just looked at it and forgot about the last 3 weeks and just look at the full body of work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, like, just Arkansas are in going on the road and sweeping Vanderbilt too. Like that has aged really well as well. Ole Miss has been kind of just average, but like you have a road series win against them as well. That's big, and a couple more chances to shake this up. Like we're talking about this now. What really matters is what's going to happen after these next couple weekends. And Arkansas's got that right in front of him. I would say that Arkansas is certainly closer to being the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament than they are to not hosting.
Yeah.
Or to not even being a national seed, I might even argue.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, by the way, Baseball America has Arkansas number 3, Texas at number 2, Georgia number 1.
That's what it was, because I remember that thinking, I was like, that's crazy. Like, how could you have them right above Arkansas? Like, if you have Texas at 2 and Arkansas at 6, okay. But you got Arkansas at 3?
Yeah. That's wild. Let's see. Hunter says, bro, I don't want to wait until Friday for another baseball game. I think nobody wants to wait.
This is the time of year where you really miss those midweeks, even if they're kind of stupid. But you know what I mean? Like, there's not really that much going on. At least we have the NBA playoffs, but we really are, as Razorback fans, just like, dang, at the mercy of the weekend here.
Yep.
This makes me think, I really hope that we're able to go into Hoover, one, not needing anything. Like, you don't want to be talking about, oh, does 1 get us this? Does 2? Like, I don't want to be having those conversations. I want us to be having the conversation of let's just, how many times do we get to watch this team play?
Yeah.
Do we do it? Maybe 3? 4? Is that okay? Like that, we'll just watch them play as much as we can, and then we get to watch them play next week too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Vanessa says, Andrew, you cut your hair? You look great without your hat too.
So I did not cut my hair. I don't know. Can y'all see it from the stream? I got a braid going on. I got some Viking shit going on.
Yeah, flip it over.
I got a little braid going on. Now here's the problem. I slept. I got this braided last night. I can't do it. Hillary, of course, did it. I slept in it, and so like it looked cooler last night, honestly. But now I'm a little bit all over the place. But
now,
from this angle, I definitely look like I just shaved.
Were you were you just sitting there last night and you're like, hey, Hillary, I'd like to have a braid in my hair, do it? Or was she was just like I'm just gonna start messing around? And
she asks a lot. She always is asking like, can she do whatever? She's always asking like, can I brush it? Can I do whatever? And so I was like, yeah, you can brush it. And then she was brushing it, and she's like, can I braid it? And I'm like, yeah, go for it. And honestly, the main reason why I'm like cool with this because like my hair gets all over, especially when I get out of the shower. My hair gets in everything. So if I'm eating dinner post shower, it's a little bit tough. And so I was like, yeah, do what you got to do. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sleep in it and see what it looks like. And then if it's playable, I'll go to El MEZCAL with a braid.
I've always thought of you as a stallion.
Yeah.
And now all I can think about is just you just getting brushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
With like a what is it? Like a whale's tooth or whatever that like they use it and stuff. Yeah.
Behind every Viking is I don't know what the term for female Viking is.
That's a great question. Somebody in the chat will know.
Yeah.
Vikette.
I don't know.
Norwegians
in here?
What's going on? Yeah. Let us know. Let's see. Also, too, where was it at? Oh, yeah. Pooh Bear says, I was super surprised that Clemson isn't number 1.
So I'm pretty sure Clemson got beat up yesterday.
Did they?
I think Florida. They played Florida State in a series, and I want to say Florida State won the series. That was a fun one. It looked fun. The ACC is going to get one of those teams to be a national seed, maybe both. But really, I think Florida State would be the team you can make the argument for. Because, I think Clemson lost that series. Maybe I'm tripping. But, both those teams are like in that top 10 range. They're the only ones. North Carolina's kind of hanging around too, but I think the ACC is probably going to get maybe one of those teams to be a national seed, one West Coast team, and then you're going to have 6 SEC teams as national seeds.
Also, JT Hazelwood says, neighbors wearing a hat, Andrew no hat. Am I in the Twilight Zone? You are.
A little bit.
You've been sneaking in the hats here lately.
I have been, and I don't know why. It's like, I don't know if it's just because it's getting, I realize, like, man, this is really easy. It's really nice to do, or if it's just because of, honestly, I wore it today because we weren't sure exactly where we're going to be set up here at El MEZCAL. And I was like, well, if we're going to be in the sun a little bit, which wouldn't be bad. I mean, because it's that perfect of a day outside. I was like, I just didn't want to have my head, it's a little thin up there, so I didn't want to have the head just getting burned. So I was like, I'll wear a hat, but then I show up, and then I know Curtis wasn't going to wear a hat, but then it was like, Andrew not without a hat and a braid. It was like, wow, man, we just really rolled the dice and got crazy here on Cinco de Mayo. It was wild stuff. But
my problem, I am a hat guy, but my hat collection is the Natty State hat, which I actually really like.
Bro was rocking the Natty State hat in Kansas City the other day. I was like, damn.
I love that hat. And but the rest of them, it's just me and Michelle are trying to get to all the MLB ballparks, so it's every other team. And so sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Like, I didn't want to wear my Seattle Mariners hat out here today.
Yeah.
So,
you should. Next time you wear your Mariners hat, let me know, and I'll wear my Seattle Kraken hat or Kraken shirt.
There we go.
And people will be like, oh.
Makes sense now. Yeah. I know we talk about baseball. We got basketball coming in. Of course, basketball always happening. But Ryan says Karter Knox is staying in the draft, isn't he? Damn. Who the heck is going to shoot threes for us?
Well, whether Karter Knox stays in the draft or not, you need to be wondering who the heck's going to shoot threes for you. But no, and we had a pot at the Palace over the weekend just talking about that. Obviously, the combine invites went out on Friday. And none of it was surprising, Karter Knox got an invite, and so did Boogie, and so did Adu Thero. We knew that was going to be the case. Now it's just real, right? And you know what? And again, I've been playing that 2 things can be true at once game. And the first part of that is based on every bit of info and intel and, checking in with certain scouts and draft analysts and everything, so far, everything suggests that Karter Knox is going to be back at Arkansas next year. That's where we're at. That can be true, but also now that you are invited to the NBA Combine, you are going to have the chance to showcase yourself. It really is a situation where if his measurements and his testing, if he surprises people based on their expectations, if he goes out there in that scrimmage setting, which he's an overtime elite guy, so that's right up his alley for going out there and having an outburst. He's a couple things like that away from all of a sudden going from, hey, this dude's going to be a first-round pick a year from now, but, probably go back to college, to them really getting serious about having those conversations about, damn, maybe we could, snatch that dude up and give him a guarantee now.
Yeah.
So do I expect Karter Knox to be back today? Absolutely. But if he goes and kills it next week at the Combine, could that conversation change? Sure it could. I just think that's where we're at. And, I get asked 100 times a day, whether it's text or DM or on the Discord or whatever, it's like, what's the latest on Knox? What's the latest on Knox? It's nothing's going to change until he, we are where we are right now. Today, he's going to be back.
I wish Karter Knox, he won't do it, but people who ask you that, if he just every day, in the morning, send out a tweet, be like, I am at about 58% leaving. And then the next day it's like, well, I had a good day. So I'm at 53% leaving. I think that's what people. That's what people think sometimes. They're just like, "What's the latest?" It's like there's not this daily blog that he's putting up. Be like, "This is what my day consisted of, and this is what the NBA scout told me today." And it's like sometimes it's just there is no update, and when there is an update, guess what? You'll be updated. Yeah. You will be let to know. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
and like you said, there's such a specific event that is built. That's where you make the decision. That's where you that's a big part of the equation. So it's like you can figure out he might be 195% going to Arkansas now, but it's like you go to the draft and situations change. What is it? 75 players, 78 players, or something like that.
75 players got invited to the NBA draft combine, and another 45 to the G League combine, and they'll call 8 or 10 of them up. So
here's what makes me nervous. It's the lowest ever early entrance, right? It's 106, and it's the lowest they've had in compared to, it's several hundred below what they had a couple years ago.
Yes.
That makes me nervous. The fact that there's the 71 draft combine invites, and I'm like, there's no way 15 of them are better prospects than Karter Knox. There's no way there's actually 60 prospects better. The question is, if there's 45 better, is he okay with all this and all that? But it makes me nervous because I think Karter Knox is an overachiever. I think he's going to go there. Yeah. He's going to do well. I think that people are going to like – the closer they look at him, the more they're going to like him. And that makes me nervous. But like you said, we just have to kind of wait and see.
Exactly. And I don't mean – this is not a knock on Karter at all because we also saw how he played, down in the back half of the season. He was awesome. And there's a reason why we're so excited about the potential for having him back for his sophomore year. He could be an all-SEC type of player for sure. But those overtime elite guys, they're workout warriors. That's what they do. It's the drill work, and they do it over and over and over. So in that setting where, we'll see where he tests from. I think seeing him from an athleticism standpoint, that wingspan, because we've seen some people put out that he's 6'6" plus now, and his wingspan is 6'10". It's like, well, that changes things if that's true to a degree. But we'll see about his vert and his agility. But those shooting drills and all that other stuff they test you on, he's going to kill it in that standpoint because that's all they do at overtime elite. And then they go play the games. So we'll see what it looks like. But unless he and the other thing that I tried to tell people was when you go to these things, expect him to perform well. Karter Knox is a very good basketball player. So if he goes there and he gets a fast break layup in the scrimmage, don't be like, damn it, he's out of here, man. People are expecting him to play well. It's, does he do things that you didn't know he could do? Does he surprise you? Because that's what it's going to have to take for these NBA scouts who've been evaluating his film the entire season. They already know who he is as a player. What's changed from the Texas Tech game to now? And if he's doing things that really jump off the page from that standpoint, that's what could make it interesting.
Well, all the case against Karter Knox being a definitive draft pick, potentially first round, would be the things that happened several months ago. His freshman year when he was getting the rust off and all that. The further we get away from November, December Karter Knox, the more and more he looks like an NBA player.
Yes.
And he's also one of those guys that think about how much better he was November, December to February, March.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to be the same. He didn't get worse at basketball.
Exactly.
He's going to go there. Where's the combine being held at?
Chicago.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
there's a high possibility that Karter Knox explores the city, has a good time out on the town, is riding the trains everywhere.
Taking notes from DJ.
We could get him distracted in Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would necessarily get him distracted in Indianapolis,
Yeah. Yeah, you need some sort of distraction.
We need Karter. Valid. We need Karter to not be dialed in at the combine. Is where we're at.
Yeah, we're just setting him up and hoping that he fails for it too. So, but a reminder, folks, we're here live from El MEZCAL here off the Fayetteville Square for Cinco de Mayo, and of course they got all music going to be happening all day today as a celebration. So if you can't make it for lunch, come by for dinner, and they have an assortment of margaritas. By the way, which kind of margaritas did you guys get?
So I got watermelon and you got mango.
This is mango.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's what's the thing is if you look at their menu, which I know it's kind of hard to see from this, but I'm literally counting 15 different types of margaritas.
Oh, that's
and they rotate them apparently. They'll have different ones every now and then.
I've had just the house mark here. That's usually what I get, and it's really good. But I'm anxious. Well, I mean, if I can stand up and see straight after the show, I might give that Woo Piggarita.
Yeah, the Woo Piggarita. Yeah.
32 ounces is a lot of ounces.
It is. Yeah. I definitely have to get some food in my system before.
Yeah, well, that's another thing is I have not eaten anything today, and so yeah.
Luckily, they have those here. They have food.
They do have food here.
Yes, and it's awesome. So yeah, you can check it out. They have again all different types of margaritas. They even have a thing that they started doing is just in time for Cinco de Mayo. Is that you can actually take home their house margaritas and their flavors and everything because they have them for sale and have them for purchase here. So if you want to make your own margaritas at home, do it that way too. House on the rocks doesn't matter. Make it happen for all of you. So, but let's see a few chats real quick.
I want to add one thing real quick.
What's up?
Just real quick because we were talking about the Karter Knox thing, and I brought this up. I brought it up in the Discord and I brought it up on the pod at the Palace this morning. I want to see what you guys think about it. But pending the time frame, because I don't know it might be right in the middle of Inside Arkansas Live, but I'm thinking about going live during the combine scrimmages. If Karter Knox is playing and Jameer Watkins is out there or whatever, and just going and doing a Q&A, but also talking about it and everything. A lot of people were suggesting it, and then when I brought it up, people were like, dude, do it.
That'd be cool.
I don't care. I'll do it if people will watch and come hang out.
Curtis will have a running meter. It's got Karter Knox percent chance every trip down the court, every
Yeah.
defensive rotation.
I'll
It's
vote
going to
it up.
just be fluctuating, and so we'll be able to see in real time. It's like the Christmas "Do You Believe" meter.
Yes.
Curtis is going to have that for the Karter Knox
That's
workout.
right. That's right.
Watching Karter Knox in shorts.
Oh my gosh, that'll be perfect. That'll be perfect. All right, a few more of your chats real quick, folks. Jeff, by the way, says I have Viking heritage,
Okay.
and Valkyries were female Viking warriors.
Good.
Valkyries is the term I was looking. I knew there was a term, but I was like, I can't pull it.
Yeah, he says I would say be a berserker. They were straight up crazy warriors. It's true.
Andrew's
It's true.
definitely a berserker.
Yeah,
Think
he's
I'm a berserker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
I could see that. Let's see. Also, shout out to our guy Quinn for another super chat. Appreciate says I've blacked out on a picture of Marks before. That's the least surprising thing I've heard today, Quinn.
I believe that.
Yep.
We had a picture of Margs, John, when we were in Auburn. It
With
wasn't
Quinn?
at the Mexican place that we ate at that was really good, but it was the other place we went to where you had is the first time I've ever seen you with some food you couldn't handle. Those hot wings.
yeah, dude. That was
I can't remember
that
the
was brutal.
Dugout or something.
Yeah, it was something like that, and I'm sure Quinn will let us know. But it was like a
Yeah.
sports bar down there, and dude, the wings. Because here's the thing, the girl suggested them, as in like
Yeah.
I was like, hey, what's your what you known for in the wing flavors?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, here. It's like, yeah, we have.
You're big on asking the waitress
Yes.
for the
Because-
like recommendations.
Yeah, because if we're in a new place I've never been before, I'm like, I want to get whatever's the best.
This chick
So-
led him astray.
Dude, she was like, we have there's like these flavors, then we have the mild, medium, and the hot. And the hot ones are one of our most popular. So when I hear hot, I'm like, okay, a little above medium. No, these I could not eat. I could not touch, and I was sick. So it was just, it was brutal, man.
was in a bad
It was
place.
brutal. So yeah, but yeah, Quinn, we believe you though. We believe you that you have blacked out there before.
Half times, he's right. That's what it was.
That's
yeah.
at half times. That's right. Also, shout out to Ryan who says Curtis is sitting in a chair. John and Andrew are on stools. That's correct. I'm on phone books right now because trying because Curtis is so tall and gigantic. I mean, geez, we take one picture together and that's all everyone cares about. They don't look at say like, hey man, you guys are good looking. They don't say like, man, you guys, I love your shirts. It's like, geez, Curtis is a giant. Wow.
Yeah.
Andrew and John, how do you guys don't even measure up.
We got a couple of those comments in Stillwater. Me and Curtis shot a video where it was like we were standing up. That was tough. That was tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the comments have been there are two ways that it could go for that picture. It's one, why is Curtis so large? And then two, it's why are all these guys holding glizzies?
Yeah, we did have there's a lot of holding of glizzies in that picture.
Yeah, it could go to a lot of different directions.
That was
there.
that was only like 40% of the glizzies we consumed that
That's
night.
right. Yeah,
That's
we were
true.
back pocketing them and everything.
That's right.
Pause.
The peaks. The Peak says, who is better, Boogie or Acuff, as they walk on campus, a better basketball player overall?
I promise you that I'm not doing the prisoner of the moment thing. It's Darius Acuff.
Yeah.
You see Darius Acuff the other day?
Ballin',
That dude's really
dude.
good at basketball.
Balling. Yeah.
But also that's also the rankings update that happened with On3. I don't know how this affects it. I feel like across the board, Acuff is rated higher. No,
He is, and it's a stronger class too in terms of depth. So like that carries more weight to me. No, he's really really good. And I know like Arkansas's got DJ back, and so he's gonna play his minutes at the 1 and 2 and everything. And I think because of that, we're not talking about Darius and Malik enough. Acuff's good, and a lot of folks, and I get it. Unless you're a real sicko, you're not watching like the EYBL Scholastic League and watching IMG versus Link Academy on a Wednesday night or whatever the heck is going on. So most people, like the first time they really got to see Darius play was in the McDonald's All-American game where he was good, but he was like 1 of 8 from 3, and people were like, oh my God, what the hell? Well, these last couple showcases, he's really been balling out. But if you go look back at his track record, this dude is a bucket, man. Like he's a John Calipari guard through and through. And he's got some things to work on. I know a lot of people are fixated on how will him and DJ play together. Well, they'll have to figure that out. And he can he shoot? Can he not shoot the three? What's going on? He didn't shoot it that well his senior year. But if you go back, and I talked about this on the pod today, he has a track record of being an above-average three-point shooter. Like his junior year and on the EYBL, so like that entire year, 365 days, if you will, against the best competition that there is in high school basketball. This is a dude who shot 36% from 3 on more than 7 attempts per game. So that's above average three-point shooting on good ball. Like he's got it in him to be a good shooter, and he's not going to be boy, I don't know if I should say this. He's not going to be chucking at the level at Arkansas that he has been in these showcase. He took 23 shots or something in the Iverson game the other day. He's not going to be doing that
off
at Arkansas.
the dribble shots too. Like people see the 36%, and they're like, whatever, average. But it's like those are high difficulty shots. Most of those, he's probably the best scorer on his team. Every single one of those shots.
Yes, and people also look and they're like, well, is he too small to play off the ball or whatever? It's really more about who you're defending in that situation. But the thing about Acuff, he measured at 6'1" without shoes or whatever. So like he'll probably be listed at 6'2" on the roster, but he's got a very much a plus wingspan. Like he's got 6'6" length. So I'm really excited about what he brings to the table. And there's a reason why the dude signed a Reebok shoe deal already, and like Allen Iverson has just emerged as his mentor. These are good problems
That's a good
to
one.
have.
Yeah. That's Allen Iverson. One of the 7 coolest athletes in any sport ever.
Gosh, yeah. And he towers over AI, by the way. So there's that. We got
AI known for his size.
Yeah. So if they have a picture together, you can rip AI for being so small. So all right, but real quick before we move on though, I like this from Hunter. He says, "I have an interview at 2:30 and I'm stressing. Man, need one of those marks."
I love how many of our listeners have been like either changing jobs, getting job interviews, or just doing stuff. We got guys on the move.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. Well, I tell you what,
young professionals.
that's
We're
right.
all climbing the ladder together.
That's right. And I hear that if you get a margarita from here at MEZCAL, you do get the job. It's a direct correlation.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Get a celebratory mark after the interview goes
Could
well.
do that too.
Yes.
Yeah, make that happen. So we'll get to more of your chats, folks. But I do want to bring up the Alumni Hall question of the day presented by our friends over at Alumni Hall, where if you go to InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall, use promo code HOGS20, get 20% off your purchase. All the greatest Razorback apparel you could possibly want. Each and everything that you could have, whether it's for men, women, kids. They have the highest end things like Columbia, Southern Tide, Peter Millar, Tommy Bahama, everything. They even got jerseys. They got hats. They got it all. So check them out today in store at 3417 North College Avenue, or you can shop them online at InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Use promo code HOGS20 for 20% off your purchase. And, the question was, simply, is this the year is this the Hogs' best year to have a chance at winning the College World Series? And the reason that was brought up is because Todd Walker said that on the SEC Network, and it got people all talking about it. And so the question is this Arkansas's best chance to win the College World Series since 2018? Razorback fans, 85% of you, not surprising, say yes, that it is the best chance that they've had. With the 15% saying no, I'd like to know, which year you felt like was better, or which year you felt like you were a better situation. Was it the Kevin Kopps year? I don't know, but still, I think overall people are pretty much on board and saying that this is the best chance that they have to winning it all. So, but yeah, shout out to Todd Walker for getting the conversation started. And I didn't even look at the replies to that SEC Network tweet because I knew what was in there. Nothing but foul ball tweets, which was disappointing. So.
I will say 2018 was the first year I can remember as an Arkansas baseball fan where I went into the year expecting my team to win the national title. Now, I've done that like 7 times since. At this point, like every year I talk myself into it. But 2018 really was the first year, and I remember making that proclamation on the day of the draft the year before. If y'all remember, Blaine Knight was a draft-eligible sophomore. I believe Isaiah Campbell – no, he was a draft-eligible sophomore in 2018. Different situation. Luke Bonfield was also draft-eligible. Yep. Carson Shaddy was draft-eligible. Both of those guys went undrafted. You have Dominic Fletcher coming back. You have Grant Cook coming back. You have Blaine Knight coming back. I remember that year being like, Arkansas is going to be, like, really preseason on paper, might have the best team. And, you always have a chance to win the title, and the best team in baseball, of course, doesn't always win. But I think if you just look at the rosters on paper, this roster stacks up with every single one. If you want to talk about just maybe not without Carson Wiggins, maybe you don't have the true freshman talent, but I just feel like you have a good mix of transfers, returners, young up-and-comers. You've got some young guys like Helfrich, like really talented pieces. Like, I think this is going to be a roster that in 10 years we'll look back and be like, damn, that was a freaking good roster.
Yeah.
Fouch will be pitching in the big leagues. Helfrich will be pitching. Some of the best some of the best prospects on this team are not even the best versions of themselves yet.
Right. Vahiva Aloy will be an MVP.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have a lot. Kahio Aloy will probably be up there doing stuff. So it's like we're going to have a lot of Nolan Souza. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I think if you look at this roster on paper, 2018 is always, I always say it's the standard. I think this team stacks up pretty well with 2018. It's certainly more talented. Yeah. You can make an argument 2018 is just a better overall team, and we can do that. But This team is without a doubt the most talented they've ever had. I think they got to give a very good chance. I will say 2022, that chance for a title is strongly overlooked. It's one of the biggest what-ifs in Razorback history, in my opinion. I mean, that Ole Miss team was not good, and they dog-walked Oklahoma. And Arkansas should have beat that Ole Miss team. Like, I think that's one of the bigger what-ifs when I think back on it.
Yeah. Okay, so a few of your chats, folks, because, again, we got a lot of them coming in. Appreciate everybody tuning into it. Finch, our guy Finch just says, let me just tell y'all that you can't beat catching a one number bluegill and listening to Inside Arkansas on the weekends. So it's true, I think.
We got to get you a little bit more comfortable with your fishing lingo before we go out there with the
bass team.
I think that's the point of having us come out, is because I know nothing about what was just said in that, but I do know a bluegill is a fish.
It is, yeah.
That's about what it is. So what's the number thing? What is it? Just like number one, is in like you got one, or does that mean anything at all?
Well, that I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just make sure that
he'll let us know.
Just make sure I wasn't missing out on something there. Which,
1
pound, yeah.
1
pound sign, yeah.
Yeah.
1 pound seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Can't you just put LB? Can you just do that? You know, like one LB.
Somebody, hey,
Come on now.
This
Trey.
is the hashtag era, bro.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Trey and Harrison caught a very large fish this weekend, the biggest bass he's ever caught, according to him.
Man,
like that.
It's a big fishing weekend, apparently. The weekend was great for
everybody. A lot
everybody.
of boys was catching fish this weekend in the chat.
Yeah. We've got our guy Jakota. Shout out to him. Says breaking in the new job today with the show. Well,
There
good.
we go.
Glad you have a job where you can still watch us live.
Man, I was encouraging people to come
First
check
day.
this out on the pod this morning, and I was like, my boss makes me work through lunch,
That's
but
true.
But if you guys get a lunch break, then you should come check it out.
I love that day one, Jakota's just streaming YouTube in the office, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but I just imagine he's he's got a big office and everything. He's got a big screen. Everyone's like, oh, this, and he's just streaming. He's like, hey, you gonna get to work today? He's like, no, man, I got to hear about the baseball, the latest predictions
At
here.
least spread the gospel of Inside Arkansas.
That's right. Let's see. Also, shout out to Sweet Arkansas gal. She says, I'm fixing to retire. Man, we got a lot of different things.
So we got people
4th.
rising the workforce and leaving the workforce.
Now, here's the thing: don't retire now and then forget what you're supposed to be doing at lunchtime. Because
that's true.
She's one of the first ones in the chat every day. Like, spending my lunch break listening to the boys, to the fellas.
I can't imagine.
Don't you leave us in August now?
I can't imagine that she's going to retire and then be like, now I'll stop consuming content.
I'm done with
what
Razorback
she needs to do,
athletics.
because a lot of times, if like my dad, for example, he retired. I guess it's about a year ago now, and it took him a while to just kind of figure out, I don't know, what the heck am I supposed to do with my day? It's a good problem to have. I can't wait to be there.
It's gonna be awesome.
At any rate, I think the best way to go about this is, from 12 to 1:30 what you're going to do every day. Just build everything around that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It just has to be your constant. You need that. Like, you need a little bit of the routine to still be there.
Yeah.
Something to get you out of bed in the morning. I think that's us.
Well, also, if you're retiring in August, that means football season.
Yeah.
She's out at the tailgates.
It's going to be big time.
They're gonna be partying it up. That'll be fun.
Oh, look at this. She says, you guys have me hooked.
There we go.
So,
all right. That's what we like
true.
to do.
Yeah, we are like a bad drug. We just just get addicted to us, and there's no way out of it. So a few more here too, because I know we'll have our best and worst of the weekend. But also shout out to Finch too. He says, hey, Inside Arkansas fellas, remember how I told you I signed my son up for the Austin Reeves camp at Jonesboro? Just signed him up for the late June Razorback one at Fayetteville too.
There we go.
Very nice,
like
man.
Bro's going to be hooping this summer.
Telling you, he's going to have plenty of opportunities there. That's awesome, man. Quinn, this is what I appreciate. He goes, except he meant the E. Except the picture with me. People just comment on me. Hope both our teams make it to Omaha so we can reunite. Yeah, that was that. Hey, listen. Quinn, you handle that with class, because a lot of people will just comment on everything. We have never had our physical appearance commented on from our streams or anything like that. So especially all of our insecurities that we have too. So you're part of the group. That's when you know you made it. It's when people start calling out your physical appearance.
We're gonna have a good time with Quinn in Omaha.
Oh yeah,
fun.
It's gonna be great. I have a feeling that he's gonna be, that little picture of margaritas he talked about. I feel like he's probably gonna have a lot of those types of things up there in Omaha if Auburn makes it. So. JM says, was that picture on the way to the pisser? He's talking about the picture we all took together. It was not. It was not.
No, that was right after. I mean, it was. I feel like we got a lot of comments about our Glizzy situation, but it was John right before that was walking back with
oh, man.
3 of them in each arm.
Came back with a fistful.
I was hustling and just hoping nobody was going to take a picture, because I know it's like, if anybody takes a picture and they post this, I'm never going to wear it down. I had 4 hot dogs and dude drinks. Everyone's like, "Jeez, man, that guy loves his glizzies." Ah ha ha. It's like, no, I was handing them to the people. I was giving back a little bit. But let's see. Camo Hog says Parker Coyle could be available this weekend per DVH, who I guess is speaking like right over here, right?
Yeah, at the library. Club. Yeah, so it's Swatters Club. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about going to that, but then I was like, oh yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Parker Coyle, and then I heard someone also. I think Ozzy said something about Logan Maxwell. I'm sure he spoke about him there as well. Yeah, Parker Coyle being back would be nice. It's about that time. We still have not seen Hunter Dietz, but we learned this weekend Arkansas doesn't need a left-handed reliever.
Yeah, overrated. Also, again, shout out to our guy Quinn, but he says, speaking of football, I am thinking of coming for the Auburn-Arkansas game at the end of October. Don't be thinking it, just do it.
Yeah, get down here.
Yeah, we'll take you out on the town.
There's zero downside to it.
Yeah,
100%. We'll go out and have some drinks.
There's no telling what both teams are going to be looking like in that particular situation.
But the only caveat to that is like you're going to have to turn in your phone. I think right before we start having the drinks. That way you're not getting too rowdy with Razorback fans on Twitter and they come out there and find you. Because I'll be in a weird spot, man. Because I consider you a friend and like I want to defend you. But then I gotta be calculated about that too, because I can't turn on my people. So it's it's gonna be one of those. We'll have to lay down the ground rules, buddy. But
it's gonna be one of those things where depending on what you say and what you do, there, Quinn, I may just be like, it's out of my hands. Sorry, guys. Go ahead and take care of them. But we can't play bodyguard for you, man. That's not the situation.
Auburn, are they going to be good in football this year? Are they going to be a little better?
Better, probably better than they were last year, I would imagine.
Yeah.
They got that quarterback from Oklahoma?
Oh,
Jackson Arnold.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Or was that Mississippi State that got him?
Maybe it was Mississippi State.
I think it's Mississippi State.
Auburn had a bunch of different guys.
They're not beating the pig in Fayetteville again.
Yeah. Auburn's going to be one we need, man. If Arkansas's making a bowl game, we're going to need that Auburn game. So, Quinn, sorry, buddy.
Yep, we're hopeful for you, though, man. We're hopeful for you. All right, let's do a couple more chats here, too. Let's see. Hickory Hogs over here says, taking a break from chasing turkeys in the great mountains of Sylamore outside of 56. Okay. He says, Arkansas for the Inside Arkansas Live and a nice turkey sandwich. Well, good. Glad you could enjoy that. Get you a turkey sandwich, and appreciate you tuning in.
So you're eating a turkey sandwich while you're hunting turkey?
That's what he said.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But, we'll allow it.
Yep.
And what are you going to do?
Yep. And also, too, before we move on, Hayden says, someone once pointed out to me that no man can look manly drinking from a straw, and it's so true, but I just don't care. Marge rule.
Marge do rule.
What are you going to do?
Yeah,
somebody was shaming me before drinking. They said I should be lifting it up. That'd be much harder for me to pull off in this situation.
Yeah, use like that. Yeah. And straws come in handy for when we're doing this with our headsets because it's like you don't want to pull your headset back.
The percent chance of me doing that without spilling would be really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be tough. It would be tough.
Is my wife here?
I don't know if she is.
Keep looking around.
If she is, tell her to.
Hey, lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna try to talk her into showing that baby bump on camera.
That would be funny if she went up with the baby bump to order me my next bar. And be like, yeah, just watermelon margarita. They're like,
yeah. No, that would be great. I tell you what, let's go ahead and get into one of our favorite segments because it's a good little recap of the sports weekend with, of course, best and worst of the weekend with our friends over at Looper Auction and Realty. Now, they're one of our newer sponsors here on the show. We appreciate them being a part of it each and every day. Why wait months or even years to sell your home the traditional way? Looper Auction and Realty, they offer faster and a smarter option for all of you. You can sell your home at auction. No repairs, no contingencies, no drawn-out negotiations. You set the terms, buyers compete, and you walk away with a firm closing date. Whether it's your home, an estate, or investment property, the auction method puts you in control and gets it sold fast. So call Looper today, folks, at, of course, 479-996-4848. That's 479-996-4848. Or visit looperauction.com. Looper Auction and Realty, sold 30, closed in 30. Simple as that. So, okay, so best and worst of the week. I had a few of them, and I'm going to just start a simple one from best. It was great. It's hard to choose from all the stuff that was going on in the sports landscape, but for my best of the weekend, I just want to throw out the fact that it was just a great thing for Arkansas to not only have that to where you swept Texas, but also you took care of business and you got softball #1 in the country. That's a pretty cool thing. Like they took care of business against LSU, and it's the first time ever that they've had a #1 ranking. So, it seems like nothing can just be balanced out, like with Arkansas is good in one sport, but then one sport sells back. It seems like either the weekend's great for all the sports or the weekend's bad for all the sports. It's never once in between or anything like that. So shout out to the softball team, shout out to Razorback baseball, shout out to the entire Razorback weekend. It was a great one, and great weather, great fans. The energy was there. Shout out to everything. It's hard to beat for that.
It's pretty awesome because the Woo Pig weekend, from before
was just the worst of it all.
It just didn't work out the way it was supposed to. So glad that they ran it back and had a good one here for sure. I have 3 quick ones. One of them we already talked, like Darius Acuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be on my best of the weekend. It's just I was I'm not gonna lie, I was triggered by the On3 rankings thing where they dropped him and they shouldn't have, and it was crazy. But what a weekend for him, man! I mean, he gets the Reebok shoe deal, which is cool. I mean, that's awesome. That's big time. He wins the Iverson High School Player of the Year award, and then he's balling out in the practices leading up to that game. They did the King of the Court, the one-on-one thing, and he swept through that and was just busting everybody's rear ends the entire time he was doing it. The guy that On3 put ahead of him in the point guard rankings, Kingston Flemings, blanked him. No big deal. Magwood, the Auburn signee, by the way, Quinn, Darius Acuff, worked him over too, and he won that one-on-one title there, which is cool. And then he gets into the game, 32 points, 11 assists, just a great performance. And I get, I'm not gonna when our guys suck, and I'm like, listen, it's a showcase game, it's an exhibition, they don't play defense, don't read too much into it. Same thing here, but it is cool as a Razorback fan to see your guys, steal the spotlight in these events, because Arkansas's had a bunch of McDonald's All-Americans and everything recently. Usually they get into those games and they really don't do that much. Well, he balled out in this one. He got the MVP of that. Really great weekend from him. So that was one. Caitlin Clark, I got to give the second one. First of all, that whole deal, playing back at Iowa against the Brazilian national team, whatever, I don't know. But it was really cool to see her hit that 3 from beyond where she broke the record from. That was awesome. And then you got to give her a lot of credit. People can hate or, if you're an Angel Reese stan or what the hell ever, that's fine. But Caitlin Clark is the reason why, the WNBA and women's basketball is just at a different level than it has been in a long time. And everybody can take some credit for that, but it's her.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I mean, it just is. So that, and then my last one was Bo Nickel. Him getting, and if you guys don't know who Bo Nickel is, I'm sure Andrew will love to tell you. But him getting just absolutely starched by this dude, Ryan DeRitter, was awesome. It was his first loss in the UFC, and he's been the most overhyped prospect I can ever remember. And I've been on this train, and I knew he was going to get fraud checked, and he did, and it made me very, very happy to see that. So that man's demise is my best of the weekend.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Did you profit from this?
I did.
From Bo Nickel?
I profited greatly from this. Yes.
I'll pull up the video in a minute because it's so funny. Listen, I sports are tough. I don't like to celebrate losses, and particularly a sport like fighting where it's life and death. It's scary, and these guys could kill us if they wanted to. So I appreciate them for not. But seeing Bo Nickel up against the corner, cowering away, and then going to a knee, it's just funny seeing a guy who has been as hyped up as this guy and has talked as much crap as this guy too. That's big time stuff. John, I'm just going to play the video of the trash talk here. This best of the weekend is pretty simple. I mean, we talked a lot about baseball, how awesome it is to sweep Texas, but I really want to focus on one specific thing, the level of edge that the team played with this weekend. I mean, you mentioned the Texas players yelling at Razorback fans. I love it when a coach like DVH, who we love DVH and we praise him for being such a cool customer. That's just, he doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. Mm-hmm. That's why he is who he is. But he didn't do the whole, it's just another series. We're here to play well. It doesn't nameless, faceless opponent. That's something I've said on this show referencing him. He didn't do any of that. He made it clear, we don't like these guys. I've never liked these guys. I didn't like them growing up. Mm-hmm. I didn't like them as a player. I don't like them as a coach. I coached against them as a grad assistant in the Southwest Conference. Now they're back in the SEC. We're going to bust these dudes' ass. And, we're going to set the tone. This is the first time Arkansas and Texas played as conference rivals at Baum Walker Stadium. It's big-time stuff. And, Dave, you could tell the team resonated with that.
Yeah.
Hell, Cam Kojal was even saying, he knew during the football game this fall. He was like, I could tell right then this rivalry, like this Hog fans love this. And Cam Kojel's not an idiot. He's like, if they don't like Texas, I don't like Texas. And so it really rubbed off on the team. I love this video that I'm about to play here. And it's got Gage Wood, Gabe Gackle, and Aiden Jimenez. 2 of those dudes are from California. Gage Wood, of course, we know he hates Texas. But it's just so cool to see them playing with that type of, like, FU mentality against Texas. John, you're going to have to make it. Yeah, there we go. Now we can make it. Here we go.
Innings dominance. Struck out 9. Rodriguez is looking to the pitcher's mound on his way back into the dugout, and Wood staring at us. This series brings out the intensity. Slider away. He struck him out swing. Galvin staring back at Gackle, nodding his head. Gackle strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3, they go down in order. That's it. This series belongs to the Razorbacks. They have taken 2 in a row from Texas. 6-1 the final score.
And, like, dude, Gage Wood's a fiery personality. He does that. Gage Wood could be pitching against UCA. He would do that.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I don't think I've ever seen Gackle, like, talk crazy like that, like pitch with that type of edge. Aiden Jimenez is an absolute gentleman. I can't believe he was out there talking like that. But that's what happens when you have your coach come out there and a coach that doesn't waste that. We see Muss that does all these, I love Muss, but he does all these antics for a lot of games. It kind of, like, you kind of wonder, like, okay, we know he doesn't actually care about whatever opponent this is. He's just doing his mailman bit or whatever. When you see a coach like Dave that, like, really goes out there and is like, you know what, this is personal and we need to get it going. And I think it's a big deal for Arkansas to have that type of mentality and know this is a time where we need to lock in, and them to go out and do it. I think that bodes well, man. It really gives them that it brings them together, gives them that feeling like they can do it.
I just like the fact that, because I always look at it too, of you don't do it when all the time, because if you're doing it all the time, it's going to wear thin and it's not going to get you jacked up. But then it's like one time where, really, we have someone here.
You're not going to come over here for the camera?
Good grief. This is terrible.
Come show the bump. We got to see the bump.
Come on. Get in here.
It's actually my best of the weekend is Michelle showing up for her bump. Yeah. So, but no, it was cool to see all that trash talk, because it's like, it means a little bit more when it doesn't happen very often. So, yeah.
Hell, we've even got a 4th headset.
I mean, we technically do. She's got it. Is she really not trying to get on camera?
She thinks she's going to be on the camera. I'm telling her she can sit.
Yes, she will not be on camera.
She won't be on camera.
Go beneath. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah. Just hop the fence over here, and you'll be okay with it too. So,
give the people what they want.
Yeah, that's what she should do, is hop the fence.
Yeah, just hop the fence and make it look graceful. It'll look really good there too. So, but either way, but yeah, no, I like the trash talking. That was good, and it's not something that has to happen all the time, but still a lot of fun. My worst of the weekend. This actually just happened today. And it's something simple, but it still pisses me off. So Michigan football suspended Sharon Moore, their coach.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Yes, for 2 games.
Oh, weeks 3 and 4. That's right. I did see this.
During the 2025 season for weeks 3 and 4. Not 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Because
silly.
the imposed punishment in the advanced scouting case. And the games of 3 and 4 are against Central Michigan and Nebraska, which allows him to coach week 2 against Oklahoma on the road, against his alma mater, and where he played offensive line. Like, the absurdity of this. I tweeted it out. It reminds me the exact same thing of, I know it was the NCAA that did it, and this is different because this is Michigan self-imposed, but it reminds me of the same exact thing where it was like, all right, hey, Ohio State players going into the Sugar Bowl, we know you did all these illegal acts, but we're not going to suspend you for the Sugar Bowl. Instead, we are just going to hope that you come back next season, and then we're going to suspend you for 5 games, which none of them did. And so I'm like, if it's a suspension, it's suspension for the first 2 games. Don't do this stuff. Like, because it is so selective. It's so absurd. It's so stupid. And it's so painfully obvious of why you did it. Because I guarantee you, if it was Michigan playing Central Michigan and Nebraska in the first 2 games, he would have suspended for the first 2 games. But because they're been selective, now we'll find which is the games we feel best about. Oh, these 2. Boom. There we go. Let's win those. I think that's the stupidest thing of all time. Because it's like you suspend it for 2 games and you move on. You don't delay suspensions. I've never seen that before. Yeah. So to me, my worst of the weekend is Michigan just trying to pull the wool over everybody's head, being like, no, it's not the first 2 games, but the second 2 games of the season. That'll show them. That'll teach you, give you your lesson. So, anyways, it was just really stupid to me, but not surprising given the circumstances.
And yeah, not surprising at all given the circumstances. That whole thing is
It's dumb.
that's stupid.
It's dumb.
It's soft, man. It's weak.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. My worst of the weekend, I have two. One of them, and I was texting you guys about this in the moment last night, but like we all have our Razorback fandom for whatever reasons, but you pick that up elsewhere. Like I'm sure everybody has their NFL teams that they really root for heavily. We don't have one in Arkansas, but I spent all my summers growing up in St. Louis. I lived there for 12 years. If you do that, especially when it was during the time period I was in, where the St. Louis Rams got ripped out from under the city and sent to L.A., you really adopted the St. Louis Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I get it. Like we're in the South down here, so people are like, hockey? I don't know. If you watch it live and if you experience NHL playoff hockey, it's just a completely different level of intensity. It's crazy. But a big Blues fan, and this is a rebuilding year for them. They just kind of sold off a bunch of guys, and it was like, hey, we're gonna suck this year, but then we're going to figure it out, and they did suck. But then they hit out like a 12-game win streak, and they snuck into the playoffs, and they had the number 1 overall seed, took them to Game 7, and they were in control of the game. It was 3-1 right away, or they had a 2-goal lead right away. They had a 2-goal lead with 2 minutes left in regulation, controlled 58 minutes of the game, and they pissed it away. And they gave up the game-tying goal with 1.6 seconds left. They regroup in overtime. They're killing penalties. They're putting pressure on them. They're on the road. They're in Canada, by the way.
Yeah. Playing
hockey in Canada. That's already at a disadvantage. And then they freaking lose on a deflection in double overtime to end their season in Game 7. It was about the equivalent of a choke job that we saw from Arkansas basketball in the Sweet 16. And it did two things. Like, it really made me question, like, damn, man, like, why did I make these choices for fandom? Because we just get our heart ripped out of our chest so much. But it was also kind of nice because it does validate that it's not just the Razorbacks that this happens to. Like this kind of stuff that just makes you I could barely sleep last night. I was down bad, man. But it happens to more people than just the Razorbacks. So from that standpoint, okay, fine. But that was a very disappointing night. I waited to record the pod until afterwards. I was so locked into the game, and then I hit record, and I was just like, damn, y'all, I'm down bad, man. But it was rough. And then the other one, the boxing thing over the weekend, great idea, right?
Yeah.
Like you're doing it at Times Square. You got all these heavy hitter, big name fighters who are out there. And I mean, you got Devin Haney, you got Ryan Garcia running back, you got Canelo. It's like, wow, this is going to be a really cool deal. It just sucked. It just sucked, man. 3 of the top 5 lowest punch totals in a fight since they've been recording punch totals happened in the same weekend out there. And it was the 3 big fights. Haney wasn't throwing any punches. Ryan Garcia wasn't throwing any punches. He got put flat on his back and got beat by a bum. And then Canelo was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. It was just a really, really disappointing weekend for what should have been an awesome boxing card. It stunk, man.
Who did have a good performance today, actually, and it wasn't in Times Square, in a way.
Yes,
the young small kid who got dropped for the first time ever, but he came back and showed some resolve. Curtis, I'm with you on the pro sports teams. So Houston is always everybody knows that's my pro sports teams. Steph Curry just owns the Rockets, man. Just owns them no matter what. And he really didn't even cook last night in Game 7, but I was proud of the Rockets for making it back to Game 7. After they won Game 2, I really thought they had a chance. They did not. Jimmy Butler's injury was not that big of a deal. He came right back and was great. And
Buddy Hield
cooked them last night, man. It's tough. The Rockets just couldn't score, and so their season ends. I hope they get rid of Jalen Green, but I will say it sets up a really nice second round for the NBA playoffs.
Yes.
You've got the Thunder and Nuggets, which will be a great series. I mean, Jokic, the best player versus the best team, the top 2 MVP candidates and all that. Timberwolves versus Warriors will be good. I do think the Timberwolves wipe the floor with them.
I think they win in 5.
I really think they do. Celtics, Knicks, right alone, like all those 2 franchises alone, always going to be a big deal. The Pacers are already up 1 game on the Cavs. The Cavs are the 1 seed in the East. It's kind of interesting. So the NBA playoffs, as disappointing as it's been for my guys, also James Harden, who's my guy. went out sad on Saturday. As every James Harden season has to end.
Never fails.
He has
bro.
to go out sad in the playoffs.
I'm so
He's like
proud
3
of
of
you.
8 from the floor.
I'm so proud of you for not being the James Harden defender that was like, but he had 13 assists
Yeah.
though. Nah,
Listen.
man, this is not what we're doing here.
The only thing I'll say for James Harden is that he's just so old at this point and
Yeah.
he's played so much. Like, this is just not same with LeBron, where I'm like, you can't throw LeBron's 40-year-old playoff loss in his face.
Right.
Doesn't work that way. Like, yeah, he went out in the first round as a 3 seed. He's 40. He was
Yeah.
playing the center. We were just talking to the guy from El Marco who is a Lakers fan, but like, it's the NBA playoffs have been fun, even though you've had some of my guys go out, the Rockets, LeBron, James Harden. It's tough, but the Thunder, man, I think the Thunder are going to win the title. And I think that'll be exciting for a lot of Arkansas fans.
That'd be very exciting.
Yep, Pro
Hope they
Hogs. Pro Hogs getting an NBA title is always fun. But yeah, going to your talking about fans of teams and stuff. Since I'm a Jets fan, and
Well,
football
Yeah.
has been really hard on me for the past 15 years. And I'm just I don't even know why I consider it my favorite sport still. I don't know how I do it.
is
but
this the year?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not the year. I mean, you had Aaron Rodgers and like a great group of young players, and nothing happened. It might as well have been like Brett Favre era.
Yeah.
It's like nothing happened. So, but yeah, but when they do win it though, sometime maybe in my lifetime, it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be a really good thing, maybe. Jeez, I'm getting depressed again. But we're live here at El MEZCAL. Michelle decided to join us.
She did.
Yeah, not on camera, but she's here.
Yeah.
So it's that's what we're all about. But appreciate her swinging by. And again, folks, you're going to be celebrating Cinco de Mayo all day. So they're open for lunch, but also for dinner. So come on out if you're looking for a great place right here off the square at 25 East Center Street here in Fayetteville. Few super chats and as well as some other chats too for a look back on some of the other things from the weekend. But Quinn, Greg Quinn, man, it's good to have Quinn back. And I'm not
It
just
is good
saying
to
that
have Quinn
because of the
back,
super
yes.
chats, but it is good to have you back. He said Quinn's best of the weekend was shutting up the Tennessee fan base.
100%.
Also, I'm now into horse racing. I watched a lot of horse racing over the weekend. Worst of the weekend was having an upset stomach for most of the week.
Who won the Derby? I really don't know. I didn't keep up with the Derby at all.
It wasn't journalism.
It was not journalism. That's all I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was he the favorite?
Yeah. Yeah, he was the favorite. And it's like another one word, I'm pretty sure. Somebody in the chat's going to be like, you idiots, it's this.
And I
Because
didn't watch any of it. But yeah, I was the only one I was aware of was journalism. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. No.
Yeah. No, it didn't
The only
happen
time
for
I'm
him.
going to pay attention to horse racing is if I can be there in person,
Yeah.
or if I own the horse,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I guess would be the same thing because I'd probably be there in person.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Did the
You own it.
KSR guys own a horse, or did they just all pick one to bet on? Were you following that at all?
I think it
They
was
don't
them.
own a horse.
I think it was someone named the horse after
Okay,
them,
maybe that's
I
what it
think.
was, yeah.
Because that happened like down at Oaklawn. I know when I was at the Buzz, they had a horse named after our morning show down there
Okay.
because of Frank Fletcher.
Out of bounds.
No, not my show. Shoot, you kidding me? No, it was
In the zone.
Yeah, it was a show with no name back in the day with Tommy Smith and Baz and all them. So, but no, I think that's a common thing. But that's another thing we can put on the list. One day we'll have a horse named after us.
There we go.
At a race. We'll make
Goals.
that happen. Quinn also says, I'm a Bears fan, White Sox fan, New Jersey Devils fan. I adopted the New York Mets because the White Sox have become incompetent as a franchise. Well,
I don't blame you for bailing on the White Sox, given what they've been through there. But you're going to miss out on cheering for Hagen Smith for
that's true.
many, many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that to you.
New Jersey Devils is interesting. What else? Bears. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
man, dude. You got some
Yeah,
tough
man.
ones there, Quinn. I don't know what to tell you on that one. Austin from work says, speaking of adopting teams, the wife and I are moving to New York for work this summer. Should I adopt pro teams there? Only ever been a Hog fan. Well, don't do the Jets or the Giants.
Michelle is a Yankees fan,
Definitely don't
Classic.
adopt the Yankees.
but at least
Do not
she,
adopt
but,
the
but at
Yankees.
least she grew up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
it's an
You
acceptable.
cannot adopt the Yankees.
Jets or Giants, or did you care?
Yeah, she didn't.
She didn't really care.
No.
Yeah.
They're in both of them are in New Jersey, right?
Technically,
Yeah.
yeah, even though they're the New Yorks. But
East
yeah.
Rutherford.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That doesn't count. Don't cheer for
No.
either of those teams.
The Knicks.
Oh, yeah, the Knicks-
would
the
probably be
Knicks, that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Knicks
and do
is
that. I mean,
cool.
they're also very good.
Definitely don't do the Nets. Yeah.
No,
do
yeah,
the Knicks.
Don't do the Nets. Yeah, over there in Brooklyn. So, is it the Rangers? Is the hockey team right?
New York
Rangers
yeah.
and the Islanders.
It's okay. So,
You could pick from there, or the Devils if you want to do the Jersey thing, which is just like across a bridge or something.
well, there you go. See, we gave you options.
I would go Islanders. Like
Islanders out on Long
the
Island.
Rangers feel like the Yankees to me, and the Islanders feel like more of the Met, like kind of the
that
underdog
makes
role.
sense. That
So,
makes sense.
Yeah, no, that would work too. So,
Ooh,
oh,
shoot.
here you go.
Heck yeah.
I got you right here. That one here looks like yours. And
I feel like
thank you,
we
Omar.
are backwards,
Appreciate
though.
it. Oh, we are? Oh, my bad.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Which one's mango? Which one's? Okay, so
That's
yeah,
what,
yeah, Kurt,
okay,
you
so
take this
backwards.
one.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
okay. I'm doing this.
No, you're all good.
Yeah, I'm being the server here. He's
You
like,
did a
"There
great
go."
job,
Yeah,
John.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent work.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, it is a party over here.
Yeah,
man.
we're killing
Yeah,
it.
doing. No, I think we're good,
We're
man.
all good,
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thanks
See,
so much.
El MEZCAL taking care of us over here, man. So yeah, I was sitting there because I saw like yours was empty, so I'm like, that must be orange. I was like, no, this is just empty. But okay, so round 2
It must
for the
be
boys.
orange.
Yeah.
No, it's empty.
Let's get weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Let's
no.
get weird. Let's
Another
get weird.
32 ouncer, man. That's crazy.
None for you, Michelle. None for you. You don't get any.
Yeah,
We got
it's
our-
against we did think about how funny it would be to send you up there to order our drinks, and you were like, "Yeah, let me get a marg."
Now, can I get 2, maybe 3, depending
She
on
was
how
so
I feel?
happy last night. We went to Feed and Folly and we sat down and they had a whole like extra little menu on the table and it was like mocktails.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Heck
there we
yeah.
go. So,
Heck yeah. Like drinking that non-alcoholic beer.
You're like the kid that was smoking the little fake cigarettes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly right. Exactly right. So, again, folks, we're here live at El MEZCAL. Let's look a little bit, though, at some other weekend headlines, too, presented by our friends over at BetSaracen, it's the #1 sports betting app here in the state of Arkansas. Download it on your iPhone or on your Android and in the app store, as well as going online to BetSaracen.com. Get to betting that way. Specials, future bets, everything going on with NBA playoffs, Razorback baseball, college baseball, all of it. Do it with BetSaracen. And we'll get to more of your chats, too, as well, folks. But I did want to say, though, that I didn't bring this up as a best and worst. Some people did, but how about our future coach Tony Vitello getting ejected from the Tennessee game?
And
there,
his starting pitcher and his best pitcher getting ejected.
yeah. And I saw one of the plays. I don't remember if it was in yesterday's game or the game before that when the Auburn guy was about to get gunned down in from I guess third to home, and they were going back and forth, and he tries to go home. Well, the Tennessee guy at home, I think it was the pitcher.
Yeah, and he got
has the
ejected
ball and he
for it.
kind of shoved him, and so that's what sparked it all and everything. And it's just one of those deals where I'm like, man, Tony, I really want you to be our coach, man, but it's hard to
He's
defend
getting his
you.
antics out of the way
yeah,
now.
that's fine. That's fine.
I just hope they bring that energy to Fayetteville in a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like I want that kind of level of spicy.
I am so glad you said that because here's the deal. Any of y'all that when we had that conversation about Cal's team being that like nasty team, that jerk team, and everybody was like, yeah, that'd be cool. You can't do the opposite in the baseball. Be like, well,
We
don't want any of
we
that
don't want
stuff.
Tony V. Yeah.
There's very few things that get on my nerves more than the baseball purists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't pimp a home run. How dare you bat flip? Oh, why are you
Stupid.
watching? Like, nah, man.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
Now you
Let it
can't.
fly.
Now the pitcher coming off the mound, don't step on the chalk though.
Oh no. Like, listen, there's
There's
certain,
certain things. Don't
yeah,
say no hitter. There's still some things, but there is a line somewhere. And if you're yelling at kids for pimping homers, you're on the wrong side of the
show
line.
them.
Yeah.
You can show emotion.
Yeah. Then that's
and
all I'm saying.
And the pitcher who strikes out the side can also pull his nuts out too. Like that's also a thing. You can do whatever you want to do.
Well, that might be frowned upon.
Yeah, I think they may get you for that one.
Can't do anything these days.
Yeah, I'd say. It's like back when this country was great,
Let's
everybody
put
could
it-
do whatever they
let's-
wanted.
Let's put a pin in that.
I know John doesn't. He really didn't like when Chase Burns celebrated on the mound.
That was dumb because he's like, listen, I get if you burn somebody for a strikeout and they swing at it. It was one of the worst. The ball was so far outside and to the right that I was more mad at the batter for even taking a swing at that, and he just goes nuts. And I'm like, I just feel like the way he celebrated, I was like, I get it if he was right down the pipes and he swung and missed. But it was more about him being stupid than you making a great pitch. It was a horrible pitch. That was my deal.
I feel like it was just a strike. I don't think he was celebrating the execution of the pitch. I think he was
which I
celebrating the
get.
strikeout.
But I get it. But it's like, would he would have? I guess he would. That means he would have celebrated that way no matter what. Like
Yeah.
if it's like so. I don't
If
know.
it were a strikeout, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like I just feel like there's certain lines though where it gets. All right, well maybe not go to that. Don't shove the guy who's coming home and get ejected. For it.
Chase Burns came on a visit to Arkansas.
He did.
Did.
I feel like most great pitchers in college baseball over the past, or at least highly coveted ones.
They
but I
definitely
think-
don't. They definitely don't advertise it too much.
Yeah,
It's rare that people come and visit Arkansas and everyone knows.
yeah, that's true. Well, I at least enjoyed I enjoy seeing the antics and it's sometimes fun, but then sometimes it's kind of like okay, relax, just chill out over there. But
Calm down there, buddy.
yeah. But Tennessee still coming to town though next weekend, and Texas A&M. How about them beating LSU in Game 3, which they were down pretty much the whole game, and then I think it was in the bottom of the 8th inning, took the lead on a homer, and now LSU could have been number 1, But
Yeah.
instead, they had to lose the series to A&M, and now Arkansas is going to be facing them coming off of a series loss to the Aggies.
Yeah, I don't know if I've said this publicly, but I am going to be in Baton Rouge this weekend to watch that series. I'm looking forward to that. My buddies are already starting to like plant seeds for like, oh yeah, we're just not playing great baseball. We're not, and I'm like, no. If we come down there and whip that ass, you're gonna have to hear it. Like, that's just how it's gonna be, and we'll see. It's gonna be a fun atmosphere. I always love going down to that park, Alex Box Stadium. Hopefully, the Hogs make it not a great atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yep. Also, too, want to give a shout out. Anthony Black was back in town. It's cool
Yeah.
to see that. He was at the baseball game.
Did he bring his little brother?
It sure looked like
It was
him.
not. I don't think it was his little brother.
It wasn't Beckham.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I
That
was
guy
just
right
thinking,
there.
like, I don't know. Like, I mean,
I don't think it was him.
Okay.
because I wonder if that like breaks, like, if he's allowed to just pull up like that.
I mean, yeah.
Do what he wants.
Yeah,
It's
but
Anthony Black.
It's Anthony Black.
I just
man.
meant Beckham. You know what I mean? Like with
Oh.
him being a
Oh,
recruit.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I guess if you're just there with your brother.
How cool is that though?
Oh, it's
Because
awesome,
I mean,
man.
if you really think about it, with AB, it's he was here for 1 year, great.
Yeah.
But he was a lottery pick, multimillionaire, just finished a playoff run. He's from Duncanville, Texas. His coach not here anymore. Like his
Yeah.
boys not here anymore. It's not basketball season, so it's like he's not. It wasn't like he was back at Bud,
Yeah.
for a game with Cal. He just pulls up at Baum. Would you say he was at JJ's or something?
Yeah,
He's out hanging out on Dixon, and he shows up at the baseball game. That's electric, man.
It is cool, and I also think Cal is smart enough to know, hey, let's keep that relationship, which Muss was always good about too, like keeping the relationship with Portis and all these guys that he didn't coach. Cal's smart enough to know that too, and just be like, hey, Anthony Black's a guy that Hog fans like. I want those guys to feel welcome. I think he's probably a good coach for that kind of thing.
I want to see some, little footage. How hard would it be for the U of A to put out just a little, like he's, like AB's in there getting work in with DJ or something.
Mm-hmm.
DJ was getting his work in different ways, but like if,
Are we gonna talk about that?
we just, I just want to respect the game. That's all.
Here's my thing. I don't know why the guy who put it out was filming DJ and like thought it was like DJ was the weird one.
That's exactly
DJ
right.
is sitting here talking to babes on Dixon Street, and we're supposed to shame him for that.
The timestamp is at 1 a.m. on Saturday. You know what I mean? It's like
God forbid DJ's out on Dixon just talking.
he's doing what
and the
any
guy's
able,
like, wow, look at this loser. It's like, you're the loser.
yeah, DJ's doing what any able-bodied man on Dixon Street on Saturday night should be doing, and you're
Right. I don't know why he like thought that was like a big deal. Like, and I don't really care too much about it, but it's like, was he trying to like expose DJ? Like, oh, look
It's
at
like
this guy.
It's the off season. It's not even the preseason. Like they're not doing workauts. It's his birthday. I mean, I don't
It's
know,
his
like,
birthday, his 21st birthday. So he's also legal. He's also everything. It's like,
let that man be great.
yeah. What were we supposed to take away from that?
I took away from it that he's the man. Like
Yeah, I was saying,
that's my point guard.
If you wanted me to be like, yeah, I'm proud of DJ Wagner, like, you got it.
I'm just thankful that cell phone videos weren't as apparent when I was in college on
I mean,
Dixon
seriously.
Street.
By the way,
It's
did
just,
y'all like Skohog's tweet?
Which one?
Oh, about our savior.
DJ?
Yeah,
I guess I didn't
I
see
liked
it.
it a lot.
Pull that up real quick. My laptop died, but pull it up.
Okay.
Pull up Skohog's tweet. It's a pretty good tweet.
Okay, I'll have to do that. Which
In honor of DJ Wagner's birthday,
Yeah,
he had a very nice what's the term I would use for that?
tribute.
Yeah, tribute
sort of, but like
Yeah.
says DJ Wagner has emerged as a savior of Arkansas Razorbacks basketball, single-handedly revitalizing the program with his electrifying play and unmatched leadership. The sophomore guard, transferring from Kentucky, has redefined SEC dominance, averaging 11.2 points and 3.64 assists by delivering clutch moments like his 24-point masterpiece against Mississippi State, capped with a dagger step-back three. His relentless work ethic, shaped by John Calipari, and his ability to elevate themselves and his teammates have transformed the Hogs into an NCAA tournament contender. As the grandson of Milt and son of DeJuan Wagner, DJ has surpassed all expectations, cementing himself as the greatest to ever grace the Arkansas hardwood, outshining legends with his vision, grit, and undeniable flair. I want to wish Arkansas legend DJ Wagner a happy birthday, my king and savior.
I wonder what he typed in to get that for the chat, like the
I don't want to know.
the meta AI, whatever.
dude.
Hey, whip me up a birthday message. They were pulling from his bio. I like that.
And that 11 points, 3 assists is redefining SEC dominance.
I love surpassed all expectations. The 5-star who's averaging 10 points a game.
I am 1,000% on board for just the irrational love of DJ Wagner that I hope this fan base really embraces here. Because people they were so triggered all season about, whether or not these guys love the logo. DJ's back. And listen, in the offseason, he's hanging out at frats. Like he's at the baseball games. He's out on Dixon. Like he's a man of the people. He's one of us.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Wagner, embrace it, man. I think he's gonna have a good season too. I mean, obviously, he's averaged double digits in both of his seasons in the SEC, and like he's a good player. He's gonna get better. Is he gonna become a 50% 3-point shooter? Probably not. But he's really good. He's experienced. He's back. He's a man of the people. Like some of these guys, and it is kind of just being honest, it's kind of been a basketball thing at times in the past where it's almost like you didn't even know those guys. Oh, he goes to school here.
Yeah,
like you never see
Regular
him. They
people
don't
don't
really
know
interact with folks. DJ's not that guy. Like he's really engaging and everything. So I hope he becomes a fan favorite.
You know who else is one of our own? Trevin Brazil.
Trevin Brazil.
It's just one of our guys. It's
he's a 4-year Hog.
He's the guy. He's like the son that every now and then your son is gonna wreck his car or he's gonna invite his buddies over and do something stupid in the garage, and you're gonna have to clean it up. But that's still your son, and you still love him. You'll defend him publicly and shame him privately. That's what we do with Trevin Brazil.
I'm gonna shed real tears on Trevin Brazil's senior night.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, I actually will too. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, that would be brutal. I don't know what all happened there about the DJ Wagner video. I didn't see anything of it, guys. What you guys were referring to, I had no idea.
He was chatting up a
I
baby.
just saw it.
Yeah.
I just saw it. I had to look it up, but it's like, yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, it really wasn't incriminating. He's literally just talking to a girl.
Yeah,
he wouldn't even do anything inappropriate. Like it'd be one thing he was like up on her. Like it was like there was a barrier between them too. It's like
yeah, it's so ridiculous. We'll get to a few of your chats here, folks. But yeah, shout out again, El Mezcal, because Pooh Bear's like, we need more vibes from the Mexican restaurants. Yeah, absolutely amazing vibes, which it is.
The
It's
margs
awesome
help
vibes.
for sure.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
We're about 40 ounces deep so far.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Yeah, and I like the glass they come in. It's heavy duty and keeps it cold. Keeps it cold.
This is a droppable without being breakable type of glass. I'm not going to test that theory.
That's not tested. Yeah, but they probably know. They probably had a few margs dropped in their days. But
management's behind the camera right now. If you break it, you buy it.
Yep. It's like, it's like I'm about to just buy it and take it home if that's the case. Also, again, a few other things going on. Just wanted to make known that Arkansas did add a wide receiver.
No way.
At 8 p.m. on a Sunday night.
Jalen Brown.
Cue up DJ Khaled. Another one.
Another one.
Jalen Brown, the wide receiver transfer from Florida State, 6'1", 174. Yeah, he announced that he's signing with Arkansas.
You know the meme of SpongeBob and Patrick where it's like the D-Wade and LeBron lob meme and it's another whatever. Another vague wide receiver where we're not sure how much he's going to help. The good thing about this guy is he does have like a pedigree of being a former notable recruit.
It's like a top 100 consensus kind of guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, that's worth noting. But like at one point, a lot of really good teams looked at this guy and said, we want you to play football for us. He does have some level of Division I football experience. Where he fits in this wide receiver room, I don't know. But again, with this Razorback team, it's less proven commodities. They've got about 7 guys who hypothetically make sense as a contributor.
Right.
He would be one of those.
Who was the wide receiver that Kendall Briles brought in that was from Florida State that was initially a walk-on?
Warren Thompson.
Thank you.
Gloves, Warren Thompson.
This strikes me as kind of a Warren Thompson type of ad.
It is a Warren Thompson type of ad. Where it's you're
He's
taking
highly recruited, but then it's like, it didn't really work out.
You're buying low on a very talented player who hasn't really done much, but you're getting him in the spring portal window. It's not like you're having to drop a fat bag for him. Perhaps, and Warren Thompson, by the way, I know that some Razorback fans, considering he ended up quitting the team mid-year, probably look back at that and say that wasn't a positive experience. He gave Arkansas about 500 yards or whatever. Like, I think if you can get Warren Thompson level production out of this guy,
He'll take it.
you'll probably take it.
Yeah. He was a guy that, by the way, he has 3 years of eligibility. He redshirted at LSU in 2023. Then he had 9 games and 2 starts with Florida State. He's out of Miami. He had offers to Michigan, Auburn, Texas A&M, Georgia, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Penn State, Ole Miss,
That's a
Florida,
laundry list,
Miami,
man.
Texas, Tennessee, all out of high school. So, but maybe just needed the Bobby Petrino to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you know what it is with Warren Thompson is they took a guy who was in a very unstable situation, which is what Florida State was 6 years ago. More stable now after when they went, were they undefeated 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
But last year was a very unstable situation. So maybe there's an argument to be made there. You're getting a guy who's kind of learned a little bit. He's talented. And now you're bringing him to a place of stability. Maybe that'll help him. I don't know. I'm spitballing here.
I'm pulling this up from Austin from work. He says they bring this kid in because Crutchfield just isn't it. I think that they've brought in multiple wide receivers here in the spring portal after bringing in 5, 6, however many during the winter transfer portal period, because they're not sold that they've gotten what they expected to out of some of these guys.
Yeah.
Crutchfield being one of them, and I don't think there's ever been a question. I haven't seen anybody who's come out and said, "Yeah, actually, this guy's he's just not talented. Like he doesn't have it or whatever." But it's just not something that's been showing in practices with him in particular. I mean, they've been glowing about Raylan Sharp and CC, who is supposed to be not the guy. But I know Omega Blake, it sounds like it's come on late in spring, but maybe not quite as much as you thought he would. And, and then like Crutchfield, when Arkansas brought him in because he was such a highly valued recruit, it was like, okay, between him and Blake, like you feel like you've got your two outside guys and you can figure everything else out.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not so sure about that, and that's why they're out here adding all these other guys at this point in the year at a position where you're already plenty good in terms of depth and numbers and everything like that.
I do want to clarify that there's been a lot of times where things that happen in the spring don't really translate. I remember when they brought in Jaden Hazelwood in the spring, and he stunk. He was coming off an injury, and they put him in first team, and Sam apologized about it because he realized in hindsight, oh crap, this guy was not really good. Jaden Hazelwood in the fall was a lot better, wound up actually giving them a lot of production, but they brought in Matt Landers because they weren't sure. Because they were like, oh crap, we thought we were getting a surefire guy, and it worked out where Arkansas had two receivers who gave them a lot of production. This is not that situation at all. I don't think none of these guys we're talking about are going to give 800 and 700 yards or whatever those two guys combined for. But I think, Courtney Crutchfield, they definitely didn't see a ton out of spring that would give them a ton of confidence that he's going to be a consistent go-to weapon. And that doesn't disqualify him. He very well could come to fall and end up looking a lot better. And he's talented. He's still pretty young. And it was his third college season.
Yeah.
Second college season.
Yeah.
So it's like he's still very young. You never know when that light bulb is going to go off. But I think they needed to go out and get reinforcements because I don't think they're super confident. And then you kind of have a collection of guys who you never really know, and eventually they're just hoping it adds up to a competent receiver.
Exactly. It's like, damn it, we've got so many here that we're going to find a number of guys who are going to be able to work it out. Crutchfield very much strikes me as an under the lights guy. Like, give him, he just may never be the dude who really shines in practice, but he's so athletically gifted that maybe if you give him a shot on game day, then he kind of has that breakout.
Desmond James.
Well, sure.
Yeah. He was exactly that type of guy.
But then, like, if you don't, then that's the conundrum there, right? Because, like, if you don't earn it in practice, it's like, well, how can I just throw you out there?
Same with Davion Dozier. A lot of these young guys who have been kind of hypothetical make sense on paper, and then you see them in the game, and you're like, oh, okay. But, yeah, you got to earn your spot out there.
One of the things, though, too, like, and I don't know if I'm looking too much into it, but I'm like, man, if Courtney Crutchfield does not find the field this year, I don't know if he ever will. I mean, it just seems like this opportunity is just sitting there for him.
The time to do it.
Yeah, it's like it's just sitting there for him to step up. It's not like he's like, oh, well, you got this wide receiver that's been there for a long time, and it's going to be hard to pass him. It's like you're in a situation where it's all no holds barred. Like any player can step up, and any player can go out there. And you have a quarterback in Taylon Green, which, if you love him, like him, whatever, but he's an experienced SEC quarterback. He feels good, and he's going to be making plays. So I don't know.
Well, a lot of people with Crutchfield, and I really don't. I hope it doesn't sound like we're like ragging on the kid. We're just really analyzing the situation of what Arkansas needs to get in their receiver room. He's talented. Maybe he will wind up being a huge part of it. But we're just kind of looking at a big picture. But a lot of people would say, well, Missouri had these. They had Theo East, they had Luther Burden, who was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
Like he was behind some good guys. I'm like, yeah, if those were the only guys, but. There was at least 6 receivers Missouri liked more than him.
Yeah.
And perhaps they were wrong for liking those 6 receivers, but it was at least 6 that were on the depth chart that he was not on. And so it's like, are we sure? And this is why when he committed, we all 3 cautioned against this. We were like, maybe he ends up being great, but there's nothing yet that points to that. I think that situation is the same after one spring.
Let's see a few other chats here, folks. Let's see. We got Richard Newton says, you guys need a double to go with those margaritas. Go Hogs. I love the Reese Robinette breakout this weekend. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, Reese Robinette, man.
Big country.
That was really sweet, man. Like
legend is born.
He's another one of those guys that has become like polarizing that shouldn't be polarizing. Where you either have one Razorback fan who's like they have to play big country every day, and if they don't, it's a travesty. And it's like, okay, well that doesn't have to be true. But there's also some that are like, this kid can't play at this level. And I'm like, well, that's not true either. I've seen the kid hit off of Hagen Smith. You can hit left on left against Hagen Smith. You can probably hit against anybody in the SEC. I thought it was weird that Arkansas redshirted him last year. I was pretty surprised by that. Not that I thought he was going to be an everyday piece, but given how little Arkansas had offensively, I would think having a big left-handed bat who's shown some flashes before. The kid's waited his turn. He went out and played in the New England, the Coastal Plains League. Like, he's been out there getting reps and just getting better each year. These kind of stories are rare in college sports these days. The kids that just stick it out, redshirt at a place, and then stick around and wind up playing later. You just don't see that much, and it's really cool.
Yep. Let's see. Also, our guy Trey says, hey, Inside Arkansas, which one of y'all going to catch the biggest bass on y'all's trip? I think it's going to be John because I feel like he has dumb luck and falls backward into a giant.
He does, man. It's crazy.
That's me. The luckiest guy on earth, I tell you.
Good luck neighbors.
Yeah, that's why everyone wants to hang out with me because I'm just a good luck charm. That's why I'm a Razorback fan.
I just want to make sure that I catch one. I don't even care if it's a big fish or not. I just want to catch one.
I don't even care if I catch one. I just want to do the basics right of like doing the cast. I want to do that right. That's if I can get that right, it's a good day. I just can figure out the cast. Pooh Bear says, Isn't it Sharp's second year under Petrino? So TG10 and Sharp are both second-year players. Under Petrino, we're deep on offense.
It's because Raylan Sharp played for Petrino 1 year at Missouri State, and because it's Taylor Green's second year, we're deep on offense.
I think there needs to be something more than that.
Here's what they are deep at receiver.
They have bodies.
I will give them that.
Yep, they have bodies there too. So
they have a lot of offensive linemen. They do have that.
They do.
Those are all things.
Because I think they're at the scholarship limit, or maybe they're one away.
I mean, my God, they should be.
I hear a different number every day.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's what makes it kind of like weird. So it's spring, whatever. Let's see.
I think that this guy was 85.
Okay, and if that's the case, then that would make sense. Also, too, Arkansas football did land the UCF transfer linebacker Andrew Harris.
Curtis had referenced him the other day as a guy that we had heard might be visiting.
6'2", 223, 14 tackles in his first 19 collegiate games with UCF.
I just
Go ahead.
Didn't you feel like they just needed a level of experience to help? Like, it doesn't have to be a guy like a stud or anything, but like you got Sorey, you got Steven Dix, you feel great about that. You got a couple young guys that you're really excited about. And now they've gone out and added this guy who's got Big 12 experience, and it's just somebody who's done it before. Like, I'm not worried about him at linebacker, but I think they had like 7 scholarship dudes running around out there in spring. So it's like, just get a competent body in there just in case, and I think they've accomplished that goal there.
1,000%. Linebacker was not a position that we entered spring being like, they gotta, they need a bunch. Like, we know who's going to play. If all goes well, Sorey and Dix will play 90% of the snaps there, a high percentage, and you got some other younger guys in there that can maybe add into that. Of course, you have the true freshman Tavion, like maybe he ends up making a move or something. I don't know, but I agree with you. Like, you just kind of needed another body because you're not relying on this guy to come in and start and play a ton of snaps. He's also got the UCF experience, so I'm assuming him and Travis Williams.
Overlap.
Maybe whether it was actually there at UCF. He was aware of this guy's existence. I'm sure he knows what he's capable of, knows his skill set. Linebackers are one of the few positions on the roster that I feel pretty good about. Didn't think they needed much other than just a body, like you said. I feel pretty good about their top 3-4 guys in that room.
Hey, by the way, real quick, did you guys know we made someone's Instagram story here at El MEZCAL? Just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good.
Yep. The 2 girls that were sitting over there. At least I hope that's what they were doing.
Were they taking pictures of us?
They were.
Like that.
And it was of me only, not y'all, of me.
So how did you know we ended up on their story?
I just assume that's what they're doing. I don't know. Like,
so this is a complete shot in the dark, is what you're saying.
If they're taking a picture of us, I'm hoping that they're doing something with it instead of just randomly taking a picture.
And you leapt to Instagram story. That
Well,
was
what
your
else
first.
would it be? Like, what would your
sending
be?
pictures of their friends being like, look at these dorks over here doing a show.
I guess
on Cinco de
I'd
Mayo.
like to think we are really cool, and they're like, man, these guys are awesome. I want to promote
I like to think
these
that
guys.
too, John. But like, you reported it as if it were like a fact.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just if I knew their names, I would ask them, and I'd go look them up and say. But
That's
I was
crazy.
like, yeah.
I was getting ready to look. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did we get tagged by somebody or?
I guess I thought that was a very good assumption on my part.
Dude,
but,
I'll never forget one time my sister took a picture of a person at Wendy's that was, how do I word this?
Large?
No, the exact opposite.
Okay.
Smaller than you would expect.
Okay.
She went through a phase. She was like 16. She was just. Actually, I hope she doesn't see this because she doesn't like me telling this story. And I'm not going to say my sister's name because I have 3 of them. You got to guess. You get 33% chance. But she took a picture, and that person saw her take the picture and then left.
Ooh, that's tough.
Don't take
that's
don't
tough.
take pictures.
We
of
learned a
people.
valuable lesson that day about decency, respect, and all that. I pray that's not what was happening with these young women out there.
Yeah, let's hope that because we didn't leave. We're still here at El Mezcal, and we got a picture taken of us, so we're staying.
Yeah,
with
so
it.
we have more mental toughness than the midget my sister took a picture of.
Yeah, a lot more mental toughness there. Jeez.
Bro, John he gets more candid photos taken of him and posted on the internet than anybody I've ever seen.
Maybe that's why I thought maybe that's why I jumped to that
I
assumption.
still have in my Twitter bookmarks is this tweet that I need to pull up the guy's name, and he was like John's luggage flying back and forth from Orlando 12 times, and it was just that video of John at
At
A&M
A&M?
game. It's just a classic, bro. I'll never take that video out of my bookmark.
You know that I usually don't allow tweets or videos or anything like that to change behaviors of mine. That one changed my behavior. Because
more on the head of the
I
stool.
literally thought that I'm like, okay, I just rolled out of bed. It's early. I was having to put on my tank top and shorts and go and pick up a ticket to Texas Live. Lo and behold, the Razorback fan base is over there taking videos of me if I walk in, and then it gets posted and retweeted and shared. And I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm going to start, showering and at least putting on a hat.
Yeah.
And looking a little bit more presentable. But
Listen, that was that was a tough one.
Should I? Hey, by the
Yeah,
way,
it was.
since we're talking about our appearances and people's opinions of us, should I roll back the braid? Like, should I run that back another day?
I think so.
Michelle,
not?
I haven't got your opinion. What do you think of the braid? Did you notice it when you walked in? Huh? I did sleep on it. I do need to have it a little tight next time.
tighten it up.
I think you got keep rolling with it. And honestly,
But
you
also,
should-
I don't want to look too dolled up.
No, yeah, you can't
I'm
do
still
that.
a bad boy at the end of the day. I still have to have a little bit of that.
yeah.
It's tough to be a bad boy
Yeah,
with the
just
braid.
don't go pigtails, and you'll be all right.
I'm taking the braid out.
I get it.
I heard enough. When Michelle was like,
No,
"Yeah, you
leave it
should have
for-
slept on it," I was like, "Shit, dude, that's tough."
It looks good. Bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people were thinking it was man bun season for a minute
Yeah,
there.
no,
Are
it's
you
not. I have done the man bun before. I
Okay.
showed up when I can't wear a hat. If I'm attending a place that I can't, I've gone to 2 funerals since I've had long hair. Went man bun for both.
Okay,
That's fair.
it's interesting. I mean, yeah, I guess that's like the most professional is not the word for it, but you know what I mean. Like,
It's the best look that you could probably have in that situation
Yeah.
with the long hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
interesting.
Man,
Yeah.
I wish I had that type of issue where I could just be like, hey, what can I do with my hair today? I was just
Well,
it's the same thing
I-
every time.
Every
Like,
single day, I do nothing.
I
So
never
it's
want to
like,
have that issue. Hence the buzz.
Yeah, no. Listen. You always want what you don't have.
Yeah.
I wish I had the buzz going on.
At this point, there's a 0% chance that I could grow to your level of hair. It would just. I mean, it would be. I'd be fro gang. I really would.
It's
Yeah.
so funny because I remember seeing pictures of my dad growing up, and my dad had like a mustache and like long
Yeah.
hair, and I was like, look at this idiot.
And now look at
I'm
him.
like in my late 20s, and I'm just like rocking both. It's crazy.
Oh man. Shout out to Mason. He says studying finals? ? Nah. Watching Inside Arkansas.
Is this
Good choice.
Is this finals? When is graduation?
For Arkansas?
Yeah.
I think it's actually like the weekend of the Tennessee game, or maybe
So next week? Next Friday?
yeah, I think so. It's either
That
this
would-
weekend or next weekend. Like it has to be.
It always is, I feel like.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So
it's
yeah, that
gonna
makes
be
sense.
it's gonna be busy. So yeah, we appreciate you. Putting your entire college career in jeopardy because you're watching us here.
Good
at
luck,
LSL.
My buddy that I'm staying with this weekend, who actually I'm going to probably have his brother on the podcast. His brother played at LSU. But him, the brother that did not play at LSU, I'm staying with him. He's in law school at LSU, and his last final is Thursday, right before I get there. So I'm excited for that because I miss that feeling of like being done with everything.
Yeah.
When you get done, it's like there's no better feeling. I almost want to enroll in a class just to finish it. You know.
Vids for me says we got to get a video of John hitting the perfect cast from the Goofy movie. Please tell me y'all understand that reference.
I do understand that reference. Yeah, I do.
It was it came out 30 years ago.
Loved both Goofy movies. I like Goofy movie. I really like the extremely Goofy movie.
Yeah. I was a Goofy movie fan with the what was it, Power Line with the song Eye to Eye. You know, the song from it.
Hey, shout out to Goofy, one of the best single dads you've seen in media these days.
It's true. He was ahead of his game.
His kid was an absolute ass crack, dude. I could not stand his kid, Max.
Yeah.
He was the most ungrateful, just disrespectful kid.
Come on, kids.
Always had a
kids
bad attitude, hated his dad. I'm like, what do you want, dude? Like, your mom is nowhere in the picture.
Max is one of the reasons
your
why I'm
dad's
terrified
here
of
and
fatherhood.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah, I can't
Imagine
handle
if
a
Michelle
kid that's a
left you to raise the kid.
I imagine that every day.
And the kid
I'm
just was like an
God,
asshole
please
to you
don't.
the whole time.
Yeah, that would be pretty terrible.
crazy.
Too.
Terrifying, man.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem.
It's,
appreciate you.
Yeah, I worry about that a lot.
Did he say he's about to pull up?
No, he says that he has a lot of stuff he's going to, but he can't because he has stuff popping up. So
I gauge at this point because of that. I gauge Michelle daily. Like at the end of the day, I'm like, so how are we?
Are we on good terms?
We good?
How am I doing?
Before
here?
we get a very big variable enter the picture, let's make sure we're good.
Yeah. Let's see. Also, a shout out to Quinn. Another super chat. He says, booked my flight to Fayetteville on October 22nd on Wednesday. Be there at 4 p.m. So anyone that'll want to turn up on a Wednesday, let's party. Shots on me.
Done.
Wednesday, October 22nd. I'm there, bro. I don't know. I'm busy that day. I don't know. I got some things I got to take care of.
If the wife will let me out of the house for our month-old child, I'm in.
Well, by the October 22nd, so we're talking about 6 weeks after the child's birth.
I can't wait to just.
That will have given Michelle plenty of time to hit the road. You know.
Yeah, if she's gonna do it, she's gonna do it. Otherwise, like I'll be stumbling back into the house, and she's like, "You have a child at home, and you're out taking shots with an Auburn fan."
Yeah,
it's going to be rough.
That would be the worst thing you could ever go out.
Arkansas's 2-6. You're doing this.
Yeah, that would be a rough
with interim head coach Travis Williams.
But here's the thing, Quinn is Wednesday nights. You know, because he told us this, I believe, but it is karaoke night on Dixon Street on that Wednesday night. So,
but it's also. We could go to another place.
Yeah, for Wing Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, but you can do both. Like just like Curtis says, why not both?
When you started talking, I was like, he's 1,000% going to say it.
Yeah. You know,
that's also
why not both?
Right in the wheelhouse. I could almost guarantee you that Friday night before the Auburn game, there will be an Arkansas basketball exhibition at home.
Oh, yeah. So there'll be, dude, could be going crazy. What's going to be really unfortunate is that they have the exhibition game against Kansas up in Fog Allen Fieldhouse, but it'll be that Wednesday or like crazy. We'll do it.
I'll put Quinn in the back seat, bro.
Yep.
We'll ship you up to Allen. What's the name? Allen Fieldhouse?
Allen Fieldhouse, yeah. Yeah. I thought you were going to say Allen, Texas, but could go there too.
We might send him there too.
Yeah, just depending on how things go. Let's see. Also, I wanted to address this like much earlier, but Sweet Arkansas Gal says, okay, what is Insiders of Arkansas? It's this membership that apparently we're doing. You're on YouTube, so if you want to be a member, we're going to have some cool stuff for you. It's not required. It's not anything that's like, oh, we're going to have the super secret insider information over here to those who member. It's just another way for y'all to support us, which we appreciate. And we'll have some cool stuff, some giveaways and stuff for you guys as time goes on, especially in summertime when things slow down a little bit. So if you want to be a member, great. If you don't want to, that's cool too. So that's pretty much all it is. So
I can't wait for those members-only streams.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's going to be like, man, must suck not being in the champagne room.
This is probably as close to OnlyFans as we'll ever get, right?
I have a question for you.
Don't say that. What's up?
Do you think that they would be less likely to like demonetize our videos if it's a members-only stream?
I don't know if I don't know if I want to risk it.
There's a Gucci Mane song called Members Only that I really want to play at the beginning of our like members-only stream.
Well, let's look up how much it would cost to get the rights to play that song.
Should we just reach out to Gucci Mane directly?
Yeah, we'll send him an email and let him know. Yeah.
That's what he'll probably get right back to us.
Yeah.
Hope things are good in Atlanta this time of year, Gucci Mane.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing anything too much. Jeez. Oh, okay. Just a few more here, folks. Again, live at MEZCAL in Fayetteville. It's still the beauty. You could not ask for a more perfect weather day. I mean, we got it going on here, and it's Cinco de Mayo. They're celebrating all day long. They're going to be open until 11 o'clock tonight, so come and hang out. Smelly It says, I have a 4-month-old Curtis, some advice for you, brother. Don't go take shots with an Auburn fan. It's good advice.
Hey, noted.
Yep.
I got you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you said that,
Yeah,
because
but
if you wouldn't have, he
At
would have.
least Quinn's like not just some random Auburn fan.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty tough.
He
there,
doesn't
too.
want to admit it just yet, but he's one of us. By the
Yeah.
time he leaves
Yeah.
Fayetteville, he'll be like,
He's developing a little bit of a snout.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Jeez. Also, Heartbroken Hog just wants to know, are y'all going to sim the Arkansas games on the new college football game? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Those are fun.
Although,
man.
hey, I will say, they better improve the game.
Yeah, I need some improvements. They got to work on that.
They may or may not have just completely half-assed the first game back, but I'm willing to let it slide. But let us edit things.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to edit the ratings. I'd like to be able to edit player
And
names.
stop doing
I'd
the
like to be able
thing
to just
where
edit
we
anything.
where we bench guys who are injured and you put them in the game after
Yeah,
the
and then they
first
come in.
series.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That was annoying.
Needs
If
some
I
work.
do mass subs, the subs should be adhered to.
Yes, I agree there. Well, fellas, I mean, this was awesome coming out here to El MEZCAL,
Love this
Fayetteville
place.
Square. This is an awesome spot, and they're brand new. I mean, they still have their grand opening sign up here. I mean, this isn't their first day that they're open, but they've been here in town for a while and really getting it going. And we were talking with Marco. He was going to join us, but unfortunately, he has a lot going on. You know, apparently running a business. But he was talking about how the weekend was great for them, and it's a place where they got Razorback apparel heading around. They got TV, so you can watch games here too. But it's great Mexican food, and obviously the margs are great. Different options there, and so it's just awesome to come out here and celebrate Cinco de Mayo right here in the heart of Fayetteville at El MEZCAL. So, but I got to look at everything because I'm starving. I'm going to get some food.
I'm about
here,
to
too.
grub. I
'Cause
cannot wait.
Yeah, I
Michelle's
know.
been killing me over here with the chips and sauce. It's my favorite thing. She's just over there chowing.
When I have before my laptop died, I almost just ended the stream just so he could go eat.
I just be like, oh, whoops! It's just like the internet.
Oh,
went out.
accidentally.
Yeah, I just ended it. So
I
but-
know how to put out internet. Don't
yeah,
worry.
that's true. All right, so guys, any final thoughts before we roll out of here for the day from El MEZCAL?
Oh, I mean, nothing crazy, but I'm thankful for El MEZCAL for having us out here.
Yeah.
This has been a really good time. We've been out here. I came out here with John once, came out here with Michelle one night for dinner, and I'm happy to be back. I'm looking forward to eating this food, which is exciting. But make sure you guys are doing all the things that we politely ask you to do. We don't try to force anything at all on you, but if you're not subscribed to the Inside Arkansas YouTube channel yet, but you're listening, subscribe. Just click the button.
It's very
It's
easy
no
to
big
do.
deal. Click the button. Listen to the Bombastic podcast with our man Andrew. All this baseball talk. It's good stuff. Listen to the Pod of the Palace. It's 7 days a week that we're still talking Arkansas basketball, and it's different every day. I'm not running things on repeat for you. So I think we got some good stuff going on over here, and make sure you stay tapped in with us.
I'm speaking right now to all the nerds out there who were like, Arkansas football fans will tap in with basketball, but don't really care about baseball or whatever. Just lock the hell in. Like what else do you have to do for the next 6-7 weeks? This next 6-7 weeks, just go to war with us. We're going to Omaha. It's going to be great. We got 2 badass series matchups coming up. We're probably going to lose one. We're probably going to win one. But it's going to test us. It's going to prepare us for the postseason. We're going to go into the tournament. We got as good a chance as anyone. You don't want to wait until they won the title to be like, oh damn, maybe I should be watching baseball. You know what I mean? Like, let this be the year where you finally make the conversion.
Be on the right side
And
of
you're
history.
and you're a Hog. It's going to be so much more fun. It's cool when your team wins, but it's so much cooler when you've consumed all the shit leading up to, and you've really been in there on the journey. Just tap in with the Bombastic Podcast. We're going to have a great Weekend Winners episode today. Hell yeah. The people across the street are loving it. And except for the girls that took a picture of us and were making fun of us on their Instagram story, we're still a little bit sad about that. But we love you and we appreciate you.
I have no words. I'm done. I don't know what else I can say. I mean, that's it. But that was perfectly done. And that's the thing is like we're here at El MEZCAL and we're Inside Arkansas Live and we do cool stuff like celebrate Cinco de Mayo here at El MEZCAL. So if you want to be cool too, be a part of it. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. You can check us out on all of our social media at Inside Arkansas. Check out our website, InsideArkansas.com, and our podcast, wherever podcasts are found in audio form, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, or Bombastic Podcast. It's all there for you. So we appreciate everyone tapping in. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your night, folks, and we'll see you here tonight for Cinco de Mayo at El MEZCAL. Have a great rest of your day.